You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion new single, my hate on the better put on the road, I just spit. I know we got $1 million, the devil, that shit ain't not cheap again.
Hello and welcome back to MangaMuse, guys. This is the second part of What If Naruto Meets the Kamen Rider. Make sure to like, share, subscribe and also press the bell icon so that you never miss a great update. Also make sure to check out the wonderful author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Well, let's continue with the story now.
As the light finally died down, Naruto and the others opened their eyes to see that they were still in the room with the backdrop no longer blinding them with the light, but then they felt that something has changed. "Do you guys think that we're in a new world?" asked Naruto curiously. "The only way to find out would be to step outside and see for yourselves," Yamato pointed out, getting nods of affirmation from the rest. Stepping out of the studio, the group found themselves standing at the sidewalk of a city in the night time, rather sharp contrast compared to the Hidden Leaf Village when it comes to the level of technology, and they haven't even started exploring the place yet. But there was one small thing that needed to be brought into account. "Whoa, what's with the new threads?" asked Naruto confusedly, looking down at himself. The others noticed that they were wearing new clothes. Naruto was wearing an orange pullover hoodie with a large red hidden leaf symbol on the front, blue pants, and a pair of black high-top sneakers with white soles and orange shoelaces. Also, the new camera hung around his neck. Rock Lee wore a green tracksuit with white stripes, a pair of gray-colored gym shoes, and his hands were still wrapped in bandages. Hinata wore a purple-blue jacket, white blouse with cobalt blue shorts, black stockings, and a pair of brown ankle boots. For Yamato, he was wearing a camouflage-colored coat with white fluff, a gray undershirt, black pants, and black shoes. Yamato noticed a piece of paper sticking out of the pocket of Naruto's new hoodie and took it to read its contents. According to this, the first decade was given a role and outfit every time he enters a world. Narutaki had tweaked the studio a bit to do the same for us whenever we enter a new world. "Even though I'm not wearing my normal outfit, I must admit that these ones give me the same feeling," said Rock Lee, looking at his tracksuit with a nod of approval. "Yeah, I'm totally digging the new threads." Naruto glanced at Hinata's outfit and blushed a bit. "And your suit you really well." Hinata blushed beet red. "Oh, thank you. Now then, let us explore this place and learn more about it," said Yamato, leading the way with the rest following him. Apparently, the new clothes weren't the only things that they were given, as the group were also given the basic knowledge of the world, being able to read the English language and know what is this or that. Amazing, to think that there are worlds this advanced in terms of technology. "Perhaps it could do to making up for lacking inner energies like chakra," said Yamato in wonder, seeing someone drive a sports car past them with incredible speed. "Everything looks nice," Hinata added. Rock Lee hummed thoughtfully, "I wonder the kind of fighting style they have in this world." Naruto shrugged, "Who knows? But I wouldn't mind trying out the food while we're here." And he stopped as he suddenly heard something. "Did you guys hear that? It seems to be coming from the alley over there." Yamato pointed at said alleyway. They quietly went to the alley and peered inside to be greeted with the scene of guys dressed radically and seemed to have a theme of possessing a symbol of a purple dragon on their clothes as they were fighting a group of men dressed in a black ninja garb and glowing red eyes. "I never thought that there would be ninja in this world. I'm curious as to why they're fighting those people," asked Lee curiously. Yamato then frowned. "I think we're about to find out." He glanced over his shoulder to see several ninjas having landed behind them with tantos in hand and poised to attack. It appears that they don't intend to leave behind witnesses. "Let's look at it this way. We get to see how strong these ninjas are compared to us." Naruto cracked his knuckles and stood at the ready. Rock Lee's eyes burned with excitement. "Yash, time to exhibit my youth." "Please be careful," said Hinata softly. The ninjas lunged at the group with Naruto and Ko wasting no time to respond with their own attacks. Naruto was skillfully weaving in and out of the range of their tantos, then retaliate with critical body shots, with enough force to knock them down once he discovers that they don't truly possess the physical defense compared to the enemies back home. Hinata used her gentle fist to disable their bodily motor function, making the others rather weary of her. Rock Lee on the other hand was really getting into the fight, engaging them in the numbers and proving to be far superior in terms of taijutsu. It didn't help matters that he had been shattering their weapons with his bare fists. Yamato was also picking them off one by one, proving exactly why he's a jounin without need of using jutsu. "This is getting annoying, they just keep coming," said Naruto, punching a ninja in face with a growl of irritation. "They are proving to be quite relentless." Rock Lee retook his strong fist stance, "but we can be just as determined to emerge victorious." "In other words, keep it coming," said Naruto with a challenging grin. The ninjas prepared to attack once more when a voice suddenly called out, "DMN foot ninjas, you guys just love to be pains in the necks. Good thing I can play the same role. Everyone turned to see what appears to be a male with black hair wearing a skull-like white mask, gray long-sleeved hoodie, a pair of blue jeans, and a pair of high-top sneakers. Strapped to his back is a golf bag containing all sorts of sticks and clubs meant for sports, as he was currently wielding a baseball bat in one hand and a golf club in the other. And he winds up, the masked stranger swung his bat to send a ninja flying, then he swung the golf club to put another ninja in a similar situation. Who is he? Asked Hinata confusedly. It appears that we have a mysterious ally in our midst, said Yamato. Well, let's not slack on our own side. Naruto attacked a ninja with a flying kick and attacked another with a series of punches and kicks. Agreed. Rock Lee went to engage a ninja. It didn't take long for the ninjas to lay down in defeat, while some others were forced to retreat, leaving the leaf shinobi and the masked stranger behind in the aftermath. The latter turned to speak to them. I gotta say, you guys got some serious moves. You must be new around here, since I haven't seen any of you in these parts of the neighborhood. I guess you can say that. Today's our first time here and we've just gotten a taste of the lifestyle here. Care to give us the down low on what's with those ninjas and why they were attacking those guys? Asked Naruto. Well, for starters, those punks are called the Purple Dragons, and crimes is pretty much their job around here, and I had to keep a leash on them every now and then. And those ninjas are called the Foot. Those guys are really bad news, with their main boss called the Shredder is the nastiest of them, the masked stranger explained. Any reason for why they were attacking this gang? Yamato inquired. The stranger shrugged in response. Who knows, but what I do know that they've been the reason why crime levels having been going up like crazy and running me ragged trying to stop them. How unyouthful, using their ninja training for crimes unbecoming of a ninja, said Rock Lee angrily. The stranger cracked his neck a bit before sighing. You guys better head somewhere safe, it's gonna be a busy night for me. See ya when I see ya. Then he walked off, leaving Naruto and Ko behind. What should we do? Asked Hinata. I say that we seek out these foot ninjas and teach them the right way to be a ninja, said Rock Lee with fire in his eyes. Maybe so, but this doesn't exactly require our involvement, Yamato pointed out. Or that could be the case. Remember that I'm going on this journey to learn what it means to be a Kamen rider. And one thing about being a Kamen rider is to not look the other way when innocents are in danger, said Naruto, taking out a rider card and looking at it thoughtfully. Yamato sighed at this. Very well, we'll take to the rooftops and seek out these foot ninjas and figure out their intentions. Yash, let us go forth and exact justice, said Rock Lee enthusiastically. At his words, the leaf shinobi leapt high into the air and proceeded to move across the rooftops in search of the foot ninjas. Soon enough, they started locating groups of them thanks to Hinata using her Byakugan to track them down, stopping them from attacking civilians, robbing money from shops and attempting to destroy monuments. They had just finished stopping the foot ninja when Hinata suddenly perked up at something when using her Byakugan. What's the matter, Hinata-chan? Asked Naruto. I'm sensing strange energies at the bank which we had passed. They aren't human at all, said Hinata unsurely. It could be that these actions were meant to draw the attention of the law enforcement from their true objective, said Yamato. Then we'll head over there and put a stop to the bank robbery, said Naruto. Heading over to the bank, the leaf shinobi made their way inside the bank thanks to Naruto using Fuinjutsu to basic unlock the doors without leaving any traces. Upon entry, they heard the sounds of fighting and rushed to come upon an interesting sight. Am I going nuts, or are there 4 humanoid turtles fighting a warthog? Asked Naruto in disbelief. Your eyes do not deceive you, there really are turtles fighting a warthog, Yamato pointed out. Sure enough, there really are 4 anthropomorphic turtles wearing colored bandanas and wielding various ninja weapons were engaging a large anthropomorphic warthog wearing a red vest, dark brown baggy pants, a gold chain and a pair of yellow sunglasses as he wields a chainsaw and assault rifle. Why are you robbing the bank, Bebop? What is the Shredder up to? The turtle with the blue bandana and wielding a pair of katanas demanded. Wouldn't you shell heads like to know? The warthog retorted. Of course we wanna know, which is why we're asking ya, the turtle with the orange bandana and pair of nunchucks pointed out. Why ask when we can simply beat the answers out of him, said the turtle with the red bandana and twin sayas. Either way, we'll be getting some answers, said the turtle with the purple bandana and bow staff. Not before I smash those shells of yours, said the warthog. Guess we now know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, said Naruto thoughtfully. Then let us leapt into the fray and ally ourselves with these fellow shinobi, said Rock Lee. Lee, wait! Yamato called but was too late as the boy had already lunged at the warthog. Dynamic entry! Rock Lee called out as he attacked with a flying kick. Dynamic wadash, warthog was interrupted by a foot to the snout before being knocked back, then sat in pain and anger. Who's the wise guy that kicked me? It was I, The Leaf Village's handsome devil, Rock Lee, said Rock Lee with a good guy pose. Where did he come from, Donnie? Asked the turtle with the sayus. The turtle with the bow staff shrugged. Don't know, never seen someone like him before, Raph. I doubt anyone would have those bushy eyebrows of his, don't you think so, Leo? The turtle with the nunchucks pointed out. Not exactly a great first impression there, Mikey, the turtle with the dual katana scolded. Darn it, bushy brows, you should have waited for us, said Naruto as he ran up to his fellow shinobi with Hinata and Yamato in tow. Sorry, but I was unable to wait much longer to aid them, Rock Lee reasoned. We understand, but please be more patient, said Hinata gently. Geez, there's more of you, asked Raph. Yeah, just know that we're here to help you against him and the foot ninja. It's understandable for you to not trust us immediately, hence we shall prove by our actions, said Yamato. Looks like you shell brains got some backup. Luckily, two can play this game. Bebop whistled loudly before multiple foot ninjas appeared in puffs of smoke. Now, back to smashing those shells of yours. Alright Piggy, show me what you got, said Naruto as he dashed low to the ground towards the mutant warthog. I'm gonna saw you in half. Bebop revved his chainsaw a couple of times before swinging it one-handedly at the blonde, ducked low to evade and slid in between his legs to get behind him, then countered with a flying dropkick to the back to make him stumble towards Rock Lee, who wasted no time to inflict a combo of rapid punches before leaping away when Bebop snapped back into focus to attack with his chainsaw. Growling, "Eat lead you punks." Bebop took aim with his assault rifle and fired rapidly in an arc, forcing everyone to take cover. Everyone, get behind me. Wood style, domed wall. Yamato slammed both palms on the ground to make large wooden pillars to rise and interlink to form a half-domed wooden wall for the others to take cover from the bullets, much to the shock of the others, especially the turtles. Dudes, did that guy just control wood to block the bullets like some sort of magician? Asked Mikey in disbelief. I believe he did. I know we've seen our share of weird stuff. But this is a whole new level of weird, said Donnie. Speak for yourselves, I'm not gonna lose sleep over this after all we've been through, Raph retorted. Meanwhile, Naruto frowned at the sound of the bullets striking the wooden wall as he reached into the ninja pouch, which was still strapped to him in spite of the sudden change in clothes. That gun's gotta go. Bushy brows, go in for an attack the moment I disable that pig's weapon. Leave it to me, said Lee with a thumbs up. After taking out a shuriken and channeling wind chakra into it, Naruto leapt out from behind the wooden dome and performed a curve shot to send it spinning through the air and slicing through the assault rifle like knife through butter, with the half of it clattering to the ground. Seizing the opportunity of the mutant's state of disbelief, Rock Lee charged in quickly before leaping high into the air. Dynamic action. He somersaulted towards Bebop and attacked with a combo of punches and kicks before the mutant warthog snapped back into focus yet again and was quite angry about it. You punks are just as annoying as those stinking turtles, said Bebop angrily. Next thing he knew was that he got whacked right upside the head courtesy of a laughing Mikey and his nunchucks. Ah, and here I thought that we had a good relationship going this whole time, said Mikey playfully. Raph lunged at Bebop whilst withdrawing into his shell to barrel right into him like a makeshift cannonball before coming back out with a sneer. Mikey's right, smacking you around has always been a thing going on between us. Leo and Donnie were dealing with the foot ninjas that were trying to overwhelm them with numbers but were managing to push them back. Leo was skillfully disarming them of their weapons whilst Donnie was dealing some whacks upside their heads or certain parts of their bodies. A foot ninja was sneaking behind Donnie with a katana raised to strike him down when a voice suddenly spoke up from the side. Gentle fist. The foot ninja was blindsided by a palm strike to the stomach and was knocked down to the ground where he laid there twitching. Donnie turned to see Hinata and was a bit weirded out by the sight of the protruded veins around her pupilless eyes. Thanks, said Donnie. Hinata nodded in response, then she turned to see more foot ninjas appear to confront them. Please allow me to continue to be of assistance. She stepped forward and took a ready stance. Gentle fist art, 8 trigrams 64 palms. The first foot ninja lunged to attack but 2 palms. She moved quickly and took him down before turning to the others that followed up and continued her assault. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms. 32 palms. 64 palms. By the end of her assault, a majority of the foot ninjas laid sprawled out on the floor around Hinata with Leo and Donnie looking on in shock. It's like she came straight out from a video game, said Donnie in awe. Mikey would be over the moon with this, I just know it, said Leo with a sigh. They were snapped out of their thoughts by Bebop's angry yell. I'm gonna blow all of you to hell. Everyone turned to see Bebop holding a cluster of grenades which he then tossed into the air towards them and began moving away from the potential blasting range. Oh geez, this isn't good. Raph growled at the current situation. We're gonna be blown sky high, said Mikey in a panic. I got this. Naruto rushed forward while taking out a scroll which he quickly unfurled with one hand and formed a hand sign with the other. Void seal activate. The seals on the scroll started glowing before proceeded to vacuum the grenades into the scroll until they were all in, and he re-rolled the scroll with a hand sign. What the? Bebop couldn't believe what just happened before his very eyes. If that's what shocks ya, then get a load of this. Naruto sped through a set of hand signs, wind style, air bullets. He took in a deep breath before spewing bullets of air that slammed into Bebop like a barrage of powerful punches till he crashed into the opposite wall of the battle with his chainsaw laying away from him. With all of the foot ninjas down for the count, everyone turned towards Bebop, who was propping himself back to his feet with a black duffel bag tucked under his arm before glaring balefully at them. You dweebs think you got the best of ol Bebop, do ya? Well, yous are all wrong. The mutant warthog spun round and punched a large hole through the wall, making everyone back up to avoid getting hit by the flying debris. "'Cause Bebop's the best there is." He turned to run but bumped his head against the wall and dropped the bag as he disregarded it and took off. "And the little piggy ran wah 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 all the way home," said Raph in amusement. "How unyouthful of him to turn tail and run," said Rock Lee in disapproval. Donnie went to examine the duffel bag, but look at what he dropped. He unzipped the bag to reveal its contents. Leo peered into it and frowned. "Cash, and a lot of it. But why go through all this trouble to rob a bank and yet abandon the money in the end?" Raph shrugged. "That pig's not exactly one with brains, others do the thinking for him. Imagine what someone like him would have done with this loot." "Hello, Rupert's Pizzeria." Everyone turned to see Mikey making a phone call with a bundle of money in hand. "Yeah, I'd like to order 2,000 extra-large cheese and pepperoni specials, and 5,000 orders of breadsticks for pickup please." "Ahem." Mikey turned round to see the deadpan expression shared by everyone as they stared at him. Donnie stepped forward and held out the open duffel bag, not needing to say what is obvious. Never mind, wrong number dude." Mikey ended the call and placed the money back with a sheepish look on his face. "Now that's over with." Leo faced Naruto and the others. "Care to tell us who you guys are again and where you come from?" "Yeah, I doubt we need Donnie to figure out that you guys aren't exactly from around here," said Raph sternly. Yamato nodded in understanding. "You would be correct that we aren't from here but rather from another world." Mikey's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Whoa, you dudes are ninjas from another world? That's so cool." "So, what brings you all here?" asked Donnie curiously. Naruto spoke up. "That would be because of me. I recently obtained a special power and I'm on a journey to mastering it. By the way, the name's Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, but you can just call me Naruto for short. I am Hinata Hyuga. It's nice to meet you." Hinata bowed in a polite greeting. Rock Lee gave a thumbs up. "I am Rock Lee. Nice to meet you in your springtime of youth." Yamato nodded. "I am Yamato. Nice to meet fellow ninjas of this world." "Nice to meet you all. My name is Leonardo but I go by Leo," said Leonardo. "Hello, I'm Donatello and I also go by Donnie," said Donatello. Mikey waved at them eagerly. "I'm Michelangelo but you dudes can call me Mikey." Raphael crossed his arms with a grunt. "Name's Raphael, just call me Raph if you don't want to waste your breath on the last 3 words. Then they started hearing the sound of police sirens heading towards their location. "It's best that we don't stick around when they show up," Donnie advised. "Then we can relocate to the studio, which is basically our base of operations," Yamato offered. "Sounds as good as any other option," said Leo in agreement. Everyone went through the hole made by Bebop and took to leaping across the rooftops right as the cops show up to find an open safe. People dressed up as ninjas sprawled all over the floor and a duffel bag full of money. "This is just one of those days," one of the cops grumbled. "Yeah, I normally prefer to have a cup of coffee before tackling these kinds of weird stuff," said another, recalling several citizens telling them crazy stuff like seeing gangsters fighting against giant turtles wielding ninja weapons and all those kinds of nonsense. Sometime later, the group arrived at the studio and went inside after making sure that no one had seen them thanks to Hinata using her Byakugan to scout the area and giving them the okay to enter. Going over to the parlor and taking their seats, Donnie was the one to resume the conversation with a curious question. "You said you're on a journey to MSTR, a power given to you. Just what kind of power is it?" asked Donnie curiously. "Well, it goes like this." Naruto told them about the history of the Kamen Riders and how he was chosen to be the next decade but needs to travel through various worlds in order to unlock his potential power, and this is the first world we've come to. "You sure you need this power? Looks to me like you're strong as is since you're able to easily handle pig brain Bebop," said Raph. Rock Lee spoke up. "I will have to disagree, Raph-san. Know that there will always be a powerful opponent whom you will encounter in the future. Which is why it's for the best that you are well prepared to face such oppositions. Plus, he can transform into a superhero just like the ones in the comics. How cool is that?" said Mikey in excitement that someone is actually living his dream. "Way cool," said Naruto with a smirk. Yamato shook his head in amusement. Let us turn our focus to the current matter at hand, the subject matter being the foot ninja led by the shredder we've heard about tonight. We're all just as stumped as you guys are. We hadn't heard a thing from them for a while, then all of a sudden, crime levels start spiking up like crazy and the foot ninjas are all over the place, Donnie explained. But then, why would they rob the bank then abandon the money? It's like they gave up on it too easily, said Hinata. That's the million-dollar question which we're trying to find the answer for, said Leo with a small frown. Then I hope you guys wouldn't if we lend a hand. We got nothing else doing and I'm on a training trip after all, Naruto offered. Come on bro, say yes. Mikey excitedly urged the others to accept the offer made to them. Leo frowned in thought before speaking up. We'll have to consult with our father before making our decision. Yamato nodded. We understand and will be waiting for your response. Thanks, come on guys. Time to head back. Leo rose from the seat with the others sans Mikey following suit. Come on guys. Can't we just hang out with them for a bit longer? Mikey whined in protest. Raph stomped over to grab Mikey by the arm. Now's not the time to be a whiny kid, we gotta head back and let father know what's going on now. In the meantime, Donnie reached into his belt pouch and took out a turtle-themed phone which he held out to Naruto. We'll keep in touch with you through the T-phone. Naruto took the T-phone with a nod of affirmation. Cool, we'll be waiting on ya. Seeing the turtles leave, Naruto slumped back down on his seat as he let out a sigh before speaking to the others. Heh, what a way to start up a journey. I look forward to working together with them, they radiate the flames of youth, said Rock Lee energetically. Simmer down bushy brows, don't burn yourself out before the action. Naruto's right, they basically going to be guiding us through how things operate in this world, so we must be ready, Yamato pointed out. Mikey-san left this for us. He said that it's a welcome gift. Hinata held out what appears to be a coupon. Looks like it's for ordering a free pizza from Rupert's Pizzeria. Let's get one and see how it tastes, said Naruto excitedly at the thought of trying out food from another world. Sigh, I just know that I'll be receiving weird looks from Tsunade-sama and the others when I bring in the report, said Yamato with a sigh. Life with Naruto involved can be interesting and at times plain weird, and it's disturbing that he's getting used to it. It was late in the afternoon in Manhattan and people were preoccupied with their daily activities, but the same couldn't exactly be said for the studio as the residents inside were going about different ways to learn more about the new world they're in right now. Yamato was reading an encyclopedia about the world and was quite interested, seeing that there are a lot of continents compared to their own world which has only one that they know so far. Hinata was also reading a book on botany and was quite interested in the type of flowers and herbs, making plans to visit a flower shop to see if she can purchase some seeds and seedlings to bring back home. Rock Lee on the hand was sitting in front of the TV and watching the sports channel, being rather taken by the kinds of sports of this world and right now is watching a boxing match. Amazing, such footwork, such postures and finesse. Rock Lee watched with sparkling eyes at how the boxers faced each other in the ring. I must let Guy-sensei know about the existence of such activities and fighting styles of this world. This will definitely help us reach greater heights. The front door to the studio opened and Naruto came inside with a bag full of groceries. Turns out that he went out to explore the city and see the sights before passing by the supermarket to buy some things on the way back. Man, there's a major difference between being in a city and being in a forest. No wonder why they call cities concrete jungles because of the severe lack of vegetation. I doubt I can get any natural energy for sage mode while I'm here, Naruto commented while taking the groceries to the kitchen and beginning to pack the food into the fridge. Yamato looked up from his book. Had fun while on your walk? Yup, I even took several pictures while I was at it. Naruto pointed at the camera hanging from his neck. Just need to take the film to the dark room and develop it. I can help. Hinata put her book on the table and rose from her seat. Naruto smiled in response. Thanks, let's head to th. Everyone's attention was disrupted when they heard the sound of an unfamiliar tune and traced the source to the T-phone that Donatello had given them last night on the table. Yamato picked it up and answered, hello? The screen lit up to display Donatello, who replied, hello Yamato, we're calling to let you know that we'll be coming over tonight with our father and friends. Very well, we'll be expecting your arrival tonight. Great, see you soon. Donatello ended the end afterwards. Sounds like we'll be having visitors, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. Then we will give them a proper reception, said Rock Lee, then heard a commotion from the TV. After this match. Alright then, let's head to the dark room and develop the film. Naruto and Hinata went towards the aforementioned room to do just that. Yamato simply shrugged his shoulders and resumed his reading. Later that night, Naruto and the others were sitting in the main room to wait for the arrival of the turtles and their friends. Soon enough, they heard the sound of knocking from the back door. Hinata went to open it and saw the turtles along with a rat wearing a deep red kimono and carrying a wooden walking stick along with a teenage girl with ginger-colored hair while wearing a yellow and orange striped t-shirt, blue jeans, and a pair of sneakers. "Greetings, may we enter?" asked the rat politely. "Of course, please come in." Hinata stood aside and allowed everyone to enter. Needless to say, Naruto and the rest were surprised to see the rat since they were expecting the turtle's father to also be a turtle but eventually shrugged it off, especially when the rat spoke up. "Greetings, I am Splinter, the father of my sons." The rat introduced himself. Naruto and Yamato couldn't help but compare the likeness of Splinter with Hiruzen. The girl waved at them. "Hello there, my name's April and it's nice to meet you all." "A pleasure to meet you as well, no doubt your sons have told you about us," said Yamato. Splinter nodded in affirmation. "Indeed, though I wish we would have been able to meet each other under more preferable conditions. Or maybe it's good that it happened this way. Sounds to me that this Shredder guy and his ninja clan are up to something bad and you could use the backup," said Naruto. Raphael shrugged his shoulders. "Anything that guy and his cronies do is bad, but the way he's going about this one is different from usual." "Is there anything you can tell us?" asked Rock Lee. Leonardo nodded in affirmation. "Donatello and April have been picking up numerous reports from the police about the crime spikes that the Foot are responsible for. And considering that we're going up against a whole clan trying to take over the city, we're pretty much spread thin," Donatello added. "Which is why I advised that we meet the Shredder's overwhelming numbers with stealth and cunning," said Splinter, "but I am unopposed to receiving aid if you're willing to give it." Naruto stepped up with a foxy grin. "Say no more, we're here to help. It's why I'm on this journey through worlds, to learn what it means to be a Kamen rider." He's right, it is not in our nature to look the other way when so many lives are at stake, Rock Lee declared with his eyes burning with determination. "Ah yeah, this is so happening. Ninja Turtles teaming up with otherworldly ninjas, it's like a comic book crossover, dudes," said Michelangelo excitedly. Raphael bonked Michelangelo in the head. "Cool it, Mikey. We're grateful for the help," said Leonardo in gratitude. "The question now is, where do we begin?" Yamato inquired. April was the one to explain. "Before coming here, we picked up reports of destroyed switchboxes throughout the subway system. Someone's deliberately sending the trains out of control. Sounds like we have an objective: head to the subway and stop the destruction of switchboxes along with learning more of what's going on," said Naruto. "Then we will have to split up to cover more ground and react quickly," said Yamato. "How about I tag along with Leonardo and the others?" "Pretty sure I can help them out," Naruto suggested. Hinata expressed her concern. "Are you sure, Naruto-kun?" "Yup, I'll be fine. I'll serve as a navigator for both teams. I can also call a friend of ours to guide you through since he knows his way around just as much as the turtles do," April pointed out. Yamato hummed in thought before finally, "Very well then, exercise caution while you're out there." "Please be careful, Naruto-kun," said Hinata worriedly. Naruto nodded in affirmation. "Don't worry, we got this." "Ditto," said Michelangelo, excited with the team up. This wasn't even in his bucket list and yet it's happening. Sometime later, Naruto followed the turtles down to the subway junction called the West Village Station. The blonde ninja was also given a T-phone and T-glasses for long-range communication and scan his surroundings, which can be best described as an artificial dojutsu. He had always wondered what it'd be like and is now getting an opportunity. Leonardo suddenly called out to him and the others, "Guys, look over there." He gestured for the group to see foot ninjas down at the terminal and destroying the subway trains by setting the place on fire. "Geez, who would have thought that the Foot hate trains so much to the point of torching them?" Michelangelo commented. "Well, they're gonna hate something else even more, my fists bashing their heads," Raphael retorted. "Either way, we need to put a stop to this," Donatello pointed out. "Then what are we waiting for?" Naruto took out a pair of kunai from the holsters on his thighs. "Let's get to it." Naruto and the turtles immediately leapt into the fray and began the Foot ninjas, taking them completely by surprise but quickly regained their wits to fight back. Naruto himself was engaging several Foot ninjas and easily taking them down when he sensed a Foot ninja rushing towards him with a spear in an attempt to impale him through his back. Channeling chakra to the soles of his feet, Naruto waited until the last moment to perform a 180 slide along the ground to get behind him, then sped through a set of hand signs, wind style, air bullets. He took in a deep breath whilst concentrating chakra into his lungs before opening his mouth to spew bullets of air rapidly, which blasted the ninjas away from him, crashing into the pillars and losing consciousness upon impact. Michelangelo was using his agility to evade slashes from the Foot ninjas' tontos whilst spinning his nunchucks to build up momentum before swinging to strike them in the heads, knocking them all out. Leonardo skillfully deflected the blades, then countered by disarming them of their weapons before knocking them with several effective kicks. Donatello utilized tactics and careful attacks of his bow staff to defeat his opponents with as little moves as possible. Raphael's aggressive personality can be reflected in his fighting style as he overpowers his enemies with raw strength but not uncontrolled. Soon enough, everyone had cleared out the West Village station. "I guess that's all of them," said Naruto, looking at the defeated forms of the foot ninjas tied up with paralysis tags placed on them to immobilize. "Maybe so, but I can't help but feel that there's more to it," said Donatello with a thoughtful frown. Suddenly, everyone's tea glasses began ringing, then a screen appeared on their HUD and displayed April, who appears to be rather concerned. "Guys, I intercepted the enemy's comms. It sounds like they're planning to destroy the Central Park station. You need to head there and put a stop to them before it's too late," April reported. "Okay April, we're headed there now," said Leonardo before the transmission ended. "But how exactly do we get there?" No sooner did Naruto ask that they heard the blaring sound of a train horn. "By hitching a ride, that's how," said Raphael. Now understanding what they meant, Naruto and the turtles jumped on top of the train after the latter made sure that it would take them towards their next destination. Naruto was a bit nervous when it comes to trains, considering his past experience with one which chased him down while he was carrying a princess on his back during his earlier genin days. They soon reached the station and jumped off the train to begin scouting the area. "Dudes, over there!" Michelangelo called out for the others to see what he was pointing at. Sure enough, there were foot ninjas, but they weren't the only ones, as they also humanoid beings with skin seemingly made entirely out of stone while wearing military camo pants and boots, some wielding large hammers and others being unarmed. "What are those things?" Naruto inquired curiously. "They're called rock soldiers, genetically created warriors that serve the Krong and occasionally the Foot Clan, though it seems like the latter in this case," Donatello explained. "Well, don't look now, but those rockheads are running demo around here," Raphael pointed out as the rock soldiers were destroying anything and everything in their sight. "We need to stop them before everything's destroyed," said Leonardo urgently. "Need I remind you dudes that those are literally walking rocks? They can take hits and keep on going," Michelangelo pointed out to the others. In that case, Naruto channeled chakra into the seals inscribed into his arm guards, making them glow faintly. "I should be able to deal with their strong defense." "What did you do?" asked Donatello curiously. "One of my customized seals, designed to enhance my punches to the point of shattering rocks. It was inspired by my teammate and her sensei. I call it the booster seal," Naruto explained. "Nice, could sure some of those down the line," said Raphael. "Remind me to look into that after all this." "Guys, clock's ticking here," Leonardo pointed out to them. "Right, let's do this." Naruto and the turtles swung into actions as they rushed to attack the enemy, with the blonde ninja targeting a rock soldier wielding large hammer which he swung at him, but the leaf shinobi evaded it by performing a somersault overhead and landing behind him before countering with a powerful that actually caused cracks on the soldier's body which shocked him. The rock soldier spun round and tried to attack with a swing of his hammer, but Naruto swiftly dodged by ducking underneath the incoming attack and attacked with an uppercut to the chest, this time shattering the rock soldier into pieces and scattering all over the floor. Naruto looked at the glowing seals on his arm guards and smiles, "Working like a charm, just need to work on the energy consumption and output for it to be perfect." He heard the sounds of guns powering up and looked back to see several more rock soldiers with blasters taking aim at him. Having seen what he had done to one of them and deemed a great threat, "I get the feeling that I'll be having repeat encounters of these in the future." Whoa. Pew 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 pew. The sounds of laser fire rang throughout the subway as Naruto dashed around to avoid getting hit and weaving through a set of hand signs, wind style, dance of the Fujin. He unsheaths his chakra blade and channels wind chakra into the blade to take on the form of an elongated sword. Then he lunges at the enemy with a barrage of sword strikes combined with twirls, spins and somersaults before leaping away to seal them fall to pieces before moving to face the next opponent, whilst the turtles were also dealing with their own side of things. "Hey Mikey, how about some bowling?" Raphael called out. "Oh yeah, coming your way." Michelangelo leapt towards Raphael and grabbed his hands and was being spun around several times before being thrown. Then Michelangelo pulled himself into his shell and slammed into several ninjas before they could react in time. The turtle popped his head out to grin childishly, and Mikey rolls a strike. "Guys, I've located the enemy's computer terminal close to your position. Extract the intel from it so we can find out what the Foot Clan planning," April reported. "That's my department, gonna need you to cover me while I extract the intel from their terminal," said Donatello. Leonardo nodded in affirmation. "Do your thing, Donatello, and we'll do ours." The ground descended to the lower level and soon came across several foot ninjas guarding one that was operating on the terminal that April was talking about. Naruto and the turtles engaged them while Donatello connected his T-phone to the terminal and began typing rapidly on the keyboard to crack through many security levels and extract the needed data. There were a few close calls when some of the ninjas tried to attack the intellectual turtles but ended up getting blown to the side whenever Naruto and Ko catches sight of them and intercept. Eventually, Donatello was successful in extracting the data. I got it, sending over to you, April. Thanks, Donatello, I'm looking at it now, said April. How are Yamato Taicho and the others doing so far? Naruto inquired curiously. They're also dealing with the foot at the other stations and dealing with them quite effectively, especially Hinata and Rock Lee. Good to know. Oh no, I'm seeing major activity in the South Street station, please hurry. Consider us there, said Leonardo. They jumped onto another subway train and rode it to the South Street station, but they soon discovered that they weren't the only ones riding the train as several foot ninjas appeared atop the train. The group immediately engaged the enemy while making sure not to fall off, especially when it goes around the bends at high speed. Soon enough they arrived at their destination and discovered that the foot were setting up bombs to blow up the place. First fires, then hammers, and now bombs? This is getting crazy, yo! Michelangelo exclaimed. What would you expect from these guys when they follow a leader who's just as crazy as they are? Raphael retorted. Don, you're gonna have to work fast and disarm the bombs while we cover you, said Leonardo. Sure, no pressure, said Donatello, albeit nervously. Let me even up the odds a bit, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto crossed the middle and fingers of both hands together and channeled his chakra before there were several puffs of smoke around him that dissipated to reveal many copies of himself. Geez, talk about a one-man army literally, Raphael commented. Are you kidding? Imagine what I could do with this jutsu, said Michelangelo excitedly. Guys, bomb disarming first and talking second, said one of Naruto's clones, snapping everyone back into focus. The shadow clones aided in fighting off the enemy while others went the extra mile by locating the other bombs and bringing them over to Donatello, which really eased the turtle at all, given that he's being surrounded by ticking time bombs after all, but he was successful in disarming all of them. And to think the movies and video games make it look so easy too, Donatello grumbled to himself. April, we've dealt with the situation over here as well. Is there anything else? Leonardo inquired. I've been searching through the data that Donnie sent to me, but I realized that it's incomplete, but I was able to gather sufficient info to learn that there are more enemy terminals over at the North Avenue station and that the one in charge of this operation is none other than Rocksteady. Raphael groaned at the name. Of all the pains in the shell, it has to be Hornhead Rocksteady. Who's Rocksteady? Asked Naruto curiously. He's a rhino mutant and Bebop's best friend. I was wondering why he didn't show up at the bank that night, Michelangelo explained. Well, to get to the North Avenue station, we'll need to double back to the East Square station and go the rest of the way through the tunnels, Donatello pointed out. Then let's get a move on, the sooner we bop Hornhead the better, said Raphael. Leonardo nodded in affirmation. All right, let's go. Riding a train back to the East Square station, the group made their way through the aforementioned tunnels and soon arrived at their destination, then discovered about 5 of the enemy's terminals, but the major problems were that they had to watch for the trains that were speeding around as well as the foot ninjas and rock soldiers to oppose them. Like the first time, Donatello was the one to extract data from the terminals while the rest protected him from the enemies. Guys, thanks to your hard work I found out where Rocksteady is hiding. Time for you to take the fight to him, sending the coordinates now. April sent the GPS coordinates to the T-glasses of the group, showing them where exactly they're supposed to go. Thanks for the assist, April. We're on our way there now, said Naruto. With that said, everyone followed the directions and soon found themselves in an old abandoned subway station, but there was no sign of their target, which confused them. Surely the intel April had analyzed didn't misdirect them. They were snapped out of their musing when a subway train was passing in front of them. Suddenly, everything went into slow motion right as the Turtles and Leaf Ninja caught a glimpse of the very mutant they were looking, who has his large sledgehammer reared back with a menacing look in his eyes. Their expressions uniformly changed into looks of shock as they barely reacted in time to leap backwards before Rocksteady came smashing out of the moving train and slung his sledgehammer on his shoulder. Like the Turtles described to Naruto, Rocksteady is a mutated anthropomorphic rhino, wearing an unzipped khaki-green military vest over his hulking muscular body, camo-printed pants, a pair of black metal-studded gloves, a military utility belt, and a pair of pilot goggles. He was armed with a large bloodied sledgehammer and a heavy machine gun with grenade launcher attachment. Say your prayers, Toitles. Same goes for your new friend too, Rocksteady declared. Then he rushed forward and swung his hammer, with everyone scattering in different directions to avoid getting hit. That does it, I'm never taking the subway ever again. Mikey complained, spinning his nunchucks and swinging them to bash at Rocksteady's tough skin before darting back to avoid any retaliatory strikes from the rhino. Donatello swooped in and struck at the rhino's joints, then retreated with Raphael taking over with the offensive and Leonardo double-teamed with him. I think that the odds of running in a mutant rhino during your daily commute are negligible, Mikey. Raphael scoffed, what, daily commute? He just sits on the couch and plays video games all day. You know, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Leonardo was not so subtly telling Raphael to not be a hypocrite concerning what he's accusing Mikey of. Ouch, man. Naruto interrupted them whilst rolling to the side when Rocksteady tried to smash him with his sledgehammer but missed when he dodged. Would you guys please pause that conversation? I'm trying to focus and not get smashed like a watermelon at a beach party. You're gonna be crushed into paste. Rocksteady brought his hammer down on the ground to rip large chunks of concrete and started launching them at the group like he was playing golf. Whoa! Mikey ducked under one of the concrete projectiles aimed at him, and here I thought he was into baseball. Leave this to me. Wind style, spinning shield of winds. Naruto positioned himself in front of the turtles and unsheathed the chakra blade while channeling wind chakra through it before twirling in front of him like a propeller at high speed to form a spinning circular shield of wind which deflected the incoming projectiles. Seeing this, Rocksteady prepared to rush towards the shield and smash it with his hammer when someone suddenly dropped down from the ceiling above and latched onto his head, revealing to be none other than Raphael, who snuck up to him while he was preoccupied. Surprise horn head. Raphael started punching Rocksteady's head while also struggling to hold on when the rhino mutant began flailing about in an effort to get him off. Get off me, you stupid toy doll! Rocksteady raged. Nah, I'd prefer to be your headache for a little longer. Get him while he's distracted. Leonardo quickly ordered. Everyone rushed in and wailed at Rocksteady with everything they got until Raphael lost his grip and had to jump away with the rest following suit. Angered, Rocksteady unholstered his machine gun and aimed it at the ninjas. Eat lead, freaks. He opened fire, causing everyone to run for cover. Excuse us, but we prefer to have our iron from other meals. Donatello retorted while running to avoid the bullets shot at him. Naruto sped through a set of hand signs, wind style, Gale Wolf. He held an open palm out for a spiraling sphere of wind to take form, then 4 wolves made out of the wind emerged from the sphere before charging towards Rocksteady, who tried to shoot at them but the bullets had no effect and was being attacked from different directions. As the battle was ongoing in the abandoned station with the subway train speeding by on both sides, someone leapt off from the top of a passing train towards the group with the familiar sound of a chainsaw before the person landed next to Rocksteady and revealed themselves to everyone. User goners, shell brains. Bebop declared as he stood back-to-back with Rocksteady while wielding his chainsaw. Raphael groaned at how the situation has just gone from bad to worse. I knew it. Whenever Old Horn Head shows up, Pig Brain is never far behind. I bet he must have gotten on the wrong train like 12 times or so before finding the right one to get him here, Mikey guessed thoughtfully. Leonardo was rather doubtful. Do I really need to bring up glass houses again, Mikey? The youngest turtle was quick to protest. Hey, that only happened once this year so far. You're not exactly helping your case with that statement, said Naruto with a deadpan expression. You need to stop taking public transportation without supervision. Donatello added salt to the wound. So how do you shell brains want to meet your end, pulverized or sawed to pieces? Bebop inquired darkly. I'd like to exercise our right to refuse both options, Donatello responded. Looks like a chance for me to introduce another aspect of myself. Naruto reached into his ninja pouch and took out the Deca driver, which he strapped to his waist, and took out his signature rider card, Henshin. He inserted the card into the Deca driver and closed it as it then announced. Kamen Ride, Decade. Multiple gray figures surrounded Naruto before converging into him as he transformed into Kamen Rider Decade. Mikey watched the transformation with sparkling eyes. Dude, that's straight out from the comics. I'm so jealous. Interesting, I wonder what sort of technology is used for this, said Donatello. But why is it pink? That's so girlish. Raphael commented. For some reason, Naruto felt irritated to hear that. It's not pink but magenta. He's right, the shade is slightly darker, Leonardo pointed out. Thank you. Rocksteady scoffed. You think that a fancy suit's gonna change anything? Why don't you try and take your best shot then? I won't move from here, Naruto retorted. Both Rocksteady and Bebop aimed their firearms towards Naruto with the latter sneering, your funeral, buddy, then they began to open fire. Naruto already took a card out from the ride booker to insert into the Deca driver, then closing it with the device calling out. Attack ride, barrier. A large circular shield of magenta pixelated energy appeared front of Naruto and blocked the incoming barrage of bullets with hardly any issues even when Rocksteady switched to using the grenade launcher attachment of his machine gun to launch grenades at the shield. Feeling that it's his turn to attack, the blonde ninja/rider dusted his hands before opening the ride booker and took out a rider card which he then inserted into the Deca driver and closed it. Attack ride, blast. Naruto took off the ride booker from his belt as it transformed into its gun mode, then aimed it at his targets and pulled the trigger with magenta-colored spectral copies appearing around it and firing rapidly alongside the main weapon. The speed and power of the shots destroyed both of the mutants' firearms and rendered them to be slightly less dangerous. "Go for the little piggy while I deal with the horn head," said Naruto before charging towards the aforementioned horn head. Rocksteady held up his sledgehammer as he saw Naruto approach him. "You think a freak like you can handle me on your own?" "Let's find out," the ninja/rider retorted. Naruto rolled to the ground to duck underneath the diagonal swing of the sledgehammer and countered with a kick to the gut, making Rocksteady stumble backwards in pain, and was shocked to realize that the attack was much stronger compared to before he donned the odd armored suit. The rhino mutant tried to fight back fiercely, but Naruto had faced many enemies back that rely solely on raw power and used to be the same way in the past, so he knows exactly how to whittle him down. Upon landing an especially powerful haymaker punch to the side of the end, Naruto leapt backwards and noticed that Rocksteady was momentarily dazed, then saw this to be the best opportunity for a finishing move. He inserted yet another card into the open Deca driver and closed it with the device announcing, "Final attack ride, DD Decade." A row of large holographic golden cards appeared between himself and Rocksteady, then Naruto leapt through with his right hand clenched into a fist as his speed and power increases with each card he passed through. Rocksteady recovered from his daze and looked up only to see Naruto pass through the last of the cards, then punch him powerfully in the chest to the point that he was actually sent flying and crashed back first into a wall before falling onto the subway tracks. Over with the turtles, they were also wrapping things up with Leonardo making it vocally known, "Alright guys, let's finish this." Leonardo somersaulted into the air above Bebop and landed behind him in a crouch whilst slashing him with his katanas. Michelangelo dashed past and bashed Bebop with his spinning nunchucks. Raphael followed up with a diving kick from above at the warthog's chest to make him stumble. Donatello kicked off Leonardo's shell to propel himself into the air before descending to land a two-handed strike on Bebop's head with his bow staff, effectively stunning him. Shell shock. Wham! All of the turtles rushed in from all four directions, then slammed their shells into Bebop, inflicting a large amount of damage from the simultaneous attacks which defeated the mutant as well. Rocksteady and Bebop groaned in pain as they struggled to rise to their feet while Naruto and the turtles looked down at them, not letting their guard down in the cause that the two mutants would try anything against them. "Sorry about spoiling your fun, but aren't you two a little too old to be playing with trains?" Raphael taunted, pointing his sai at them. "Fun? Huh. You all ain't seen nothing yet." Rocksteady retorted. "He's right, we haven't even started the fun part of things." Bebop added. "What exactly do you mean by that?" Naruto inquired curiously. At this point, Rocksteady and Bebop are already back on their feet with their weapons in hand, then the former spoke up, "Nah, chumps. No spoilers, especially now that the fun is just getting started." They prepared to attack with the group standing at the ready, only to be surprised when they suddenly jumped backwards right as a subway train zipping by in between them and went away, only to reveal that Rocksteady and Bebop have disappeared. "What the where did they go?" Raphael tried looking for them but to no avail. "They must have hitched a ride on that train when it sped by," Naruto guessed. "Whoa, just like a cute magician's bunny. Except that these bunnies are a psychopathic rhino and warthog," Mikey commented. "And what did those psychos mean by the fun is just getting started?" Donatello inquired. "Let's meet up with the others first, then we'll try to figure things out," said Leonardo. Nodding in agreement, Naruto and the turtles waited for one of the subway trains to pass by, then hitched a ride on the roof to return home. The next day, Naruto was relaxing in his room at the studio since he didn't have anything going on as of now. Yamato had gone out to explore the city, Hinata went to the library in search of something which he doesn't know since she's not telling him, and Rock Lee went to a gym to interact with the exercise machines there, but a part of him dreads the taijutsu enthusiast wanting to purchase a large collection to take back home. He was snapped out of his thoughts when he heard the T-phone ringing and picked it up to answer. "Hello, Naruto here." "Hey dude, it's Mikey." The cheerful turtle spoke up through the T-phone. "Hey Mikey, what's up?" asked Naruto curiously. Mikey groaned in response, "Bored to death if you ask me. Leo's meditating with MSTR Splinter, Donnie is with April at the computer doing stuff that don't involve video games, and Rafa's gone to bed, leaving me alone with nothing to do. What about you?" "Pretty much in the same boat, Yamato Taicho is out exploring the city, Hinata-chan is at the library studying stuff, and Bushy Brows has gone to work out at the gym. The gym, why? He's a major training nut, there's not a time I've ever seen him not training, Naruto explained. Talk about hardcore, Mikey muttered, then he had a thought. Hey dude, have you ever skateboarded before? Naruto hummed and thought, I can't say that I have, but I've seen those guys on TV or when I'm out doing so. Why are you asking? Trying not to toot my own horn, but yours truly is a pro in skateboarding. How about you come over and I can teach you how to do a couple of tricks? I got a couple of boards here with me. Sure, why not? I've always been curious about it. Sweet. I'm sending you a GPS to an abandoned underground pumping station in the sewers, that's where I often go boarding when I can't do so during the day, said Mikey excitedly. Alright Mikey, seen you soon. Naruto ended the call and got ready to head out, but not before leaving behind a note to inform the others of where he's going to. Sometime later, Naruto arrived at the aforementioned abandoned pumping station and took notice that several plyboards have been set as makeshift ramps as well as other random items serving as obstacles. Mikey was sitting on a large discarded pipe reading a comic book when he heard Naruto arrive and turned to speak to him. Good to see you, dude. Naruto smiled in response, well, I came here to be taught how to skateboard, so let's get started. Coolio. By the time we're done, you're gonna be pulling off tricks that no one has ever seen before. Mikey reached inside the pipe and brought out 2 skateboards, then tossed one over to Naruto, who caught it in his hands. Okay dude, I'm gonna get us started with the basic. First, I'll show how to ride on a board, which I'm pretty sure that you'll get it in no time, then I'll teach you how to pop an ollie, kickflip, revert and a few others. Mikey guided Naruto on the basics of skateboarding, with the blonde ninja proving to be quite the quick study since he always excels in practicals compared to theory. About an hour later, Mikey and Naruto were playing a game of follow the leader, as the former would perform tricks and stunts with the latter having to emulate them as well. Mikey grinded along a large sewage, then jumped off while performing a 360 method air before landing on a metal catwalk and doing a manual along it, then going into a kickflip and returning to a manual, then finished up with a pop shove it at the end of the catwalk and landing back on the ground. He looked back to see Naruto performing the run too without any trouble and soon landed next to him. Nice one, it's like you're born to be a skateboarder, said Mikey in awe. Naruto kicked the board into the air to catch it in his hand. You taught me well, not to mention that my ninja training and past experiences helped me learn quickly. Here's your board back. Nah man, keep it. Are you sure? Totally, consider it a graduation present from me. Just do me a solid and take pics of you doing tricks in the other worlds, that would totally rule, said Mikey. Naruto hummed and thought, finding the idea strangely appealing to him. Sure, I don't see why not. Yes. What say we go and get some pizza on the way? I know a great place and an awesome guy that runs it. Lead the way, Mikey. Later in the night, Mikey, wearing clothing that conceals most of his body to disguise himself, led Naruto to a pizzeria called Rupert's Pizzeria. At the back door, where he introduced the blonde ninja to a guy called Woody, he told Naruto of how he and the others met Woody when they used to scavenge for food and he encountered. Instead of freaking out by their appearance, he rather offered food to them for free. Naruto respected Woody for being kind-hearted and open-minded. It's like the turtles have their own version of Irika in this world for them. Man, I'll never get tired of this cheesy goodness, said Mikey as he took a bite of his pizza slice. Naruto chuckled in response. I can say the same for ramen, not eating it is a taboo to me. Preach on, bro. I'd better head back home before the others come looking for me. What about you? I think I'll go for a short run before returning to the studio, gotta make sure that the pizza is well digested. I hear ya, catch ya later bro. Mikey located a sewer lid in an alley nearby and opened it to enter the sewer, then closing it afterwards. Oh well, time for my run. Naruto looked around to make sure that no one's watching as he pulled up his hood to conceal his face, then ran up the side of an apartment building to reach the top. The blonde ninja did a few stretches before crouching slightly, then dashing forward to leap off the edge of the rooftop to the next one, and continued to do so across the several city blocks under the cover of the night sky with the pale full moon shining down from above. While on the move, a certain part of Naruto wanted to try using the skateboard that Mikey gave to him and try and combine his ninja skills, which sounds way too cool to overlook. Imagine if I were to apply the tree walking technique with my board for a wall ride. Mikey would be so jealous. Maybe I can apply some seals to the skateboard to give it enhanced durability, and some to the wheels so they can emulate the ability to stick to vertical surfaces and stay above the water too. Can't wait to get home and start tweaking new seals. Naruto muttered excitedly. He recalled Minato's chakra echo telling of how Uzumaki excel in Fuinjutsu, and his mother Kushina was the reason for him being able to create the Hiraition seal, which later earned him the title Yellow Flash of Konoha. The blonde ninja was suddenly snapped out of his thoughts when he caught movement from the corner of his eyes, making him stop to perch on top of a water tower and look to see black humanoid silhouettes leaping across the rooftops like him. It seems to him that a majority of the silhouettes were in pursuit of the singular one ahead of them, which piqued his curiosity. Those movements traits of ninja training, and the only ninjas I know so far are the turtles and the foot. It's obviously not the former since I just saw Mikey off and I counted more than 6 of the silhouettes, which means that it's the latter. So the question now would be, who are they chasing and why? Might as well follow them and find out for myself. Naruto proceeded to do just that as he went in the direction where he saw them go. The targeted silhouette tried its best to escape its pursuers, but they more than proved to be relentless, doggedly refusing to let the target escape until finally cornering it at the junkyard after inflicting a lot of injuries during the pursuit. The target leaned back against a scrapped car, an arm on a bleeding shoulder, while trying to figure out a way to escape as the pursuers approached with clear intent to kill. Thunk thunk thunk. Suddenly, several kunai struck the ground in between them, then someone landed afterwards for a confrontation, though they couldn't see who it is due to the person wearing a hood to conceal his identity. Hey guys, I saw you jumping around earlier and couldn't help but follow so I can learn more about you all. Naruto trailed off now that there's enough lighting for him to clearly see who they all are. First is that the pursuers were obviously foot ninjas, but they were dressed differently. They wore sleeveless ninja garb with red wrappings around their waists. Their arms are wrapped in white linen reaching all the way to the shoulders while equipped with long razor-sharp claw gauntlets, and they all wore red masks that cover their entire heads. Second is that the pursued happens to be anthropomorphic mutant snow fox with a long bushy and appears be a female judging by the body shape. She has gray wrappings around her arms, legs and waist whilst wearing a brown tattered scarf around her neck. The most defining feature of her would be the patch of blue fur around her eyes, which give off the impression of a mask. Naruto took note of the bleeding wounds all over her body and frowned, then turned towards the ninjas. I may not know what's going on, but I do know a few things. You guys are obviously from the Foot Clan, and that already makes us enemies. Attacking her means that you're not her friend. And finally, Naruto took out a kunai and pointed it at them. I don't need a third reason to beat you guys up since your clan has been causing problems for this city. Be careful, the vixen called out, wincing in pain from her wounds. They're high-level assassins from the Foot Clan. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Thanks for the warning, just leave the rest to me. The foot assassins lunged at Naruto and began to jump around him swiftly, purposely making it hard for the blonde ninja to focus on any, let alone one of them. However, Naruto was aware of this tactic as he employed it alongside his shadow clones and so knows several ways to counter it. One of the foot assassins suddenly attacked Naruto from behind with their claws towards, only for the blonde ninja to react quickly by leaping high into the air. But this action was in accordance to their plans, as another assassin leapt towards Naruto and attacked with claw swipe with the confidence that he won't be able to maneuver in midair. Naruto cried out in pain as the claws pierced through his back and out his chest, but the assassin was taken by surprise when he suddenly burst into white smoke and revealed a wooden log in his place with the claw embedded in it. Naruto reappeared above the assassin and sent him crashing to the ground with an axe kick, then followed up by dropping down to drive both knees into his stomach for a severe knockout. This action placed the other foot assassins on edge, as Naruto has just proven himself to be a massive threat which must be eliminated for the sake of their MSTR. Naruto's eyes narrowed, seeing the assassins cautiously position themselves to surround him. All of a sudden, the foot assassins threw black pellets at Naruto's feet that exploded into black smoke, then rushed inside to attack while his vision is currently obscured. The mutant fox watched the ongoing battle with worry. She fought these assassins before and they were the reason why she was put into this wounded state. She tried to stand up and try to help the unknown stranger, but her current condition is making it impossible to do so. Hearing the sound of metal clashing against each other, the vixen turned to the dissipating cloud of smoke and shocked to see 4 copies of the stranger blocking the claws of the foot assassins before knocking them back with kicks to the torsos. Naruto weaved through a set of hand signs. It's my turn to attack now, wind style, sonic step. His body radiates a clear aura before he disappears in a blur. The assassins started looking around frantically for the enemy, and the next thing they knew was that they were getting knocked around the junkyard like pinballs by the blur that is Naruto, who skidded to a stop at a short distance away from them after purposely positioning them in one place with his high-speed barrage of attacks, and was already weaving through another set of hand signs. Wind style, great breakthrough. Naruto took in a deep breath which made his stomach swell slightly and then unleashed an immensely powerful gust of wind from his mouth that blew the foot assassins off their feet and were sent crashing into various heaps of garbage before being buried underneath them. After making sure that they were all unconscious, Naruto turned around and began walking towards the mutant snow vixen. While approaching, Naruto saw the vixen starting sniffing the air and her eyes widened in shock. Not only that but he also felt a tingle crawl up his spine and he quickly ducked to the ground right as a metal claw swiped at where his head used to be. While on all fours on the ground, Naruto lashed out with a rising back kick which knocked the formerly hidden foot assassin into the air. Wind style, air bullets. Naruto takes in a deep breath whilst concentrating chakra into his lungs before opening his mouth to spew bullets of air rapidly to attack his falling target until he crashed to the ground. He made double sure that there aren't any more assassins trying to surprise him before reaching the vixen, who was understandably wary of him, having seen his combat skills and powers. "You don't look so good with all those wounds, hang on while I get my first aid pack." Naruto reached into his ninja pouch for the aforementioned pack. Why are you helping me?" asked the vixen warily. The obvious answer would be that I don't have a good enough reason not to help you, plus I don't have it in me to look the other way while someone's life is in danger. Naruto managed to find the first aid kit and started dressing the vixen's wounds by first stopping the bleeding. "But I'm a mutant, a freak to others." Naruto paused with a frown on his face before resuming, "Please don't call yourself a freak. Just because your origins are different from others doesn't mean that you don't have a place in this world. It's rather what you do with this life of yours that truly defines who you are. Believe me, I and a few others had to go through the same thing." The vixen didn't respond, or rather couldn't respond to his words, which were spoken from his heart with no trace of deceit. She simply sat there and watched him apply bandages to her wounds. "There, I've patched you up, just need to get you to the studio for Hinata-chan to fully heal you," said Naruto, surprising the mutant with his words. "You have already done enough for me, there's no need to force yourself. And I don't want to involve you and friends any more with my troubles." Naruto waved off her excuses. "If you're talking about the Foot Clan, then don't worry, my friends and I have been facing them for a while, as they were the ones responsible for the massive surge in criminal activity. Like the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But we can talk more later, let's get out of here." Naruto placed incognito seals on the vixen and himself to make it difficult to be tracked before carefully carrying her on his back so as not to irritate her wounds. "By the way, I didn't tell you my name, it's Naruto Uzumaki." "What's your name?" "My name is Alopex," the mutant vixen introduced herself. "Alopex, that's a nice name." Mutant Snow Fox smiled softly in response to the compliment. Thank you." "No problem, now hang on tight. We'll be taking the route back via the rooftops to avoid the onlookers." "Okay." After taking several running steps forward, Naruto applied chakra to his legs for an enhanced jump into the air and stick to the side of an apartment before running to the top, and was soon leaping across rooftops, with Alopex being shocked by his prowess and wondered how come no one heard of him and his friends all this time until now. Maybe he can help me," thought Alopex as she slowly fell asleep on the blonde ninja's back. With a small groan, Alopex opened her eyes and found herself lying on a bed with a cover over her body as she gradually sat up, albeit wincing a bit in mild pain. The mutant vixen observed her body to see that parts of it is bandaged. "Where am I?" The last thing I remember was, then it came rushing back to her what had happened, how she was pursued and attacked by the Foot Elite Ninjas, then was rescued by that strange boy with mystical powers before he carried her to safety, and I think I passed out along the way. Alopex sniffed the air a few times and picked up 4 scents and recognized one of them to belong to the one who saved her last night, though for some reason he smelt like a fox. She picked up another scent which is feminine and of lavender that was approaching the room she's in. Soon enough, someone came inside, and it was Hinata with a platter of breakfast and medicine. "Oh, you're finally awake. Are your wounds still hurting you?" asked Hinata. Alopex shook her head in response. "Not really, they barely hurt at all, which is strange since I don't recover that quickly." "Are you a friend of Naruto?" "Yes, I am Hinata Hyuga. Naruto-kun brought you here last night and I healed you with my medic ninjutsu. Please help yourself while I bring Naruto-kun and the others." Hinata got up and left the room. Alopex looked at the food with wariness and sniffed it for any oddity but found none, and so started eating since she had been famished and her pursuers didn't give her a chance to eat or drink. When she was just about finished eating, Hinata returned with Naruto and the others to check in on her. "Hello there. I am the handsome beast of the Leaf Village, Rock Lee," said person introduced himself with energy. Then Yamato spoke up, "And I'm Yamato, the leader of this team. Naruto told us about what happened to you last night and we're hoping to hear more from you about what happened." Alopex was a bit hesitant to reveal much to them. "Naruto told me that you and a few others are going up against the Foot. I'm sure you're aware of how dangerous they can be." "We're well aware of them, as the Turtles are allied with us to oppose them while we're here." "You working with the Turtles? Then that changes things, since I also share a history with them in more ways than one." "What do you mean?" asked Hinata curiously. Alopex was silent for a moment, looking at each of them before setting her eyes upon Naruto, who looked back at her with his ocean blue eyes and saw no form of deceit. Then she resolved herself and proceeded to them of her past and how it all leads to her present. I used to be an ordinary Arctic fox born outside of Fairbanks, Alaska, serving as a hunter for my pack at an early age. I was both feared and respected by all creatures in the area save for a polar bear who was the only being I feared. I continued to live this kind of life until I was captured and experimented on by a group of scientists with the intention of granting human-level intelligence, Alopex explained. Then she noticed the looks of anger from them but noticed that it wasn't directed towards her. How unforgivable, how could they treat life that way? Rock Lee clenched his fists tightly. Yamato had a haunted look in his eyes. I guess there's a world with an Orochimaru in some form existing in it. Alopex continued with her story. In my case, the experiment was a success as it made me intelligent and went further to make me develop a human-like body as you see before you. But my story didn't end there as I was rescued by the Foot Clan's leader, the Shredder, and I became his agent with the belief that it would give my life purpose again. Give your life purpose, just like Haku, thought Naruto, sadly recalling the past of the shinobi who changed his life. The first time when I met the turtles, I tried to trick Raphael into revealing where their lair was so I could report to the Shredder for him to be able to eliminate them. However, Raphael caught on to my ploy and fought back, leaving me with no option but to retreat. Since then, I clashed with the turtles many times from the Shredder's side. But what made you leave the Foot Clan? Asked Rock Lee. He noticed how Alopex clenched her bed cover tightly. Alopex. He did something cruel in order to solidify my loyalty to him, said Alopex. You don't need to tell us if it's too painful, said Naruto with concern. No, it's okay. I can tell you, Alopex inhaled then exhaled before telling her story. Even though I served the Foot Clan faithfully, I still had lingering attachment to my old home and family. As if he was aware of this, the Shredder sent me back to Fairbanks, but what welcomed me was the sight of my home being burned down to ashes and my family killed as a test of loyalty by him. I attacked Shredder out of rage but was no match for him, forcing me to submit and profess my ultimate loyalty to him. When I looked at the Shredder, I came to realize that unlike the polar bear that had been the bane of my existence, he was far worse, and I swore that I would one day kill him. Naruto gritted his teeth in anger. That guy, I haven't even met him and I already want to beat him to an inch of his life. The feeling is quite mutual. We cannot let him get away with this. Rock Lee declared. So, when did you leave the Foot? Yamato inquired. It was at the time when there was an intense fight between the turtles and the Shredder. I tried to kill him but was stopped by his loyal Kunoichi Karai and forced to escape. Ever since then, I became the enemy to the Foot Clan and a neutral ally to the turtles. I sought sanctuary in the forest away from the city. I was found by them and ruthlessly pursued. I came to the city seeking refuge, which is when you found me. Bet a cold-hearted BSTRD like him doesn't take backstabs well. This is getting even more personal, said Naruto angrily. But why are you so angry? We just met last night, it shouldn't bother you, Alopex pointed out. In spite of that, we won't condone his actions. He clearly doesn't care about innocent lives caught in the crossfire so long as he achieves his true goals, and this plan of his will do just that, Yamato explained. Captain Yamato is right, we will stop Shredder and make him pay for his crimes. You have my word. Naruto declared. Hinata smiled softly. Once Naruto-kun makes a promise, he treats it like a BLD oath, she explained to Alopex, who was surprised to hear that. In the meantime, you just lay down and rest while Hinata takes care of you. We're currently waiting for Donatello to contact us with information on our next move against the Foot, said Naruto. Okay, thank you all of you. Alopex leaned back to lay her head on the pillow, feeling emotionally exhausted while Hinata tended to her gently. Later that night, Naruto and Ko were visited by the turtles and April, who came along with a laptop to discuss about something. Hey guys, anything new relating to the Foot? Naruto inquired. Donnie nodded in affirmation. Yeah, a new but rather puzzling variable into the mystery. What happened? Asked Yamato, paying attention to the forthcoming information. Last night, the alarm sensors which I placed in the sewers to warn us had been pinging like crazy, so we went to investigate. And you don't even need Donnie's brains to guess it was the Foot involved. It went without saying that we chased after them, Raphael added. How did it go? Asked Rock Lee. Leo shook his head. Unpleasant. We ended up going too deep into Slash's territory and encountered the big guy himself, who doesn't like any visitors, leading to a fight with him. Who's Slash? Is he a mutant like you? Asked Hinata curiously. You can best describe Slash to be a giant mutant tortoise, but far more feral, with razor-sharp claws and spikes protruding from his body, Donnie explained. Mikey piped up, but he really is a big softy on the inside and loves candy. Raph rolled his eyes. From your perspective. So, what happened afterwards? Asked Yamato. We learned from Slash that the Foot has been sneaking through the sewers and transporting space guns, Leo spoke. Naruto quirked an eyebrow. Space guns. That's exactly how we reacted when we heard that and saw the very thing. It didn't make any sense at all, said Raph in exasperation. Yamato hummed thoughtfully, I see. Is there anything else you learned? April was the one to answer, actually yes. Donnie and I did several cross-references with what we've learned and came to the disturbing conclusion that what's happening isn't about crime. If it's not about crime, then what's the purpose? Asked Naruto. We suspect that the Shredder and the Krang are teaming up together for an invasion. MSTR Splinter is worried that this may be too much for all of us to handle. But we can't afford to give up, there's too much at stake and we're honor-bound to do the right thing, said Leo with determination. By the way, there's someone here whom I'm sure you're familiar with, said Naruto. Leo looked at Naruto curiously, who is it? Alopex. Alopex, what's she doing here? Asked Raph with a small frown, not exactly keen to see her given their past history. Naruto spoke up to explain to them, turns out that Shredder knows how to hold a grudge all too well and had sent his elites after her. She came back to the city in hopes that you could help her but ended up getting cornered, which was when I interrupted them and brought her here to be healed. She also told us of her past and history with you and the foot, so it's understandable that you don't exactly trust her, Yamato added. Well, she's not an enemy but at the same not an ally either, Donnie pointed out to them. I get you, we'll be careful but I'm sure that she can be trusted, said Naruto. Raph looked away with his arms crossed, just watch your backs around her. While everyone was talking, Yamato glanced at the side to see that the door was slightly open and he knew full well that he closed it earlier but chose not to say anything, deciding to watch before making his decision. On the other hand, Alopex had been eavesdropping on the conversation and was surprised to hear that Naruto is willing to trust her in spite of the turtles suggesting otherwise. Even though the turtles warned them about me, he's still willing to place his trust in me? Alopex carefully returned to her bed and laid her head on the pillow, mildly realizing that it had been a long time since she had slept on anything comfortable. He really is a strange human to treat me like an equal instead of a freak. A few days later, four blurs can be barely seen leaping across the rooftops of the city's skyscrapers in broad daylight before landing atop a skyscraper and slowing down to reveal Naruto along with Hinata, Rock Lee, and surprisingly Alopex. Apparently, she wants to be of help to them as well as disrupt the Foot's plans. Naruto took out his T-phone to contact Donatello. Alright Donnie, we've arrived at the place. Good to know, the police scanners are picking up bomb threats all over the city and the bomb squad is running itself ragged trying to defuse them all. So, it's up to us to help take care of the ones they can't get to in time, Donnie explained. So, how do we find the bombs? Rock Lee inquired. You can use the T-phone sensors to lock onto the bomb signals, then you can take care of them. I can use my enhanced senses to find where they are exactly, Alopex suggested. I can also do the same with my Byakugan, Hinata added. Then I'll seal the bombs into the scroll I brought along. Once we do that, we'll take them to the open sea. And let them explode there. I still wonder why the Foot would be blowing up unfinished skyscrapers, said Leo thoughtfully. I told you before, Leo? It's because they're idiots, said Raph. We can't be too sure, Raphael. The Foot don't do things that doesn't benefit the clan in the long. I would know that all too well given my time with them, Alopex pointed out to everyone. Sure, whatever. But how much time do we have until the bombs explode? Hinata inquired. I've estimated that we have at least 10 minutes, which should be enough time, I hope, Donnie answered, albeit nervously at the last part of the sentence. That's not exactly encouraging to hear, said Naruto with a deadpan expression on his face. No offense bro, but you totally SCK at pep talks, Mikey added in his 2 cents. No need to be discouraged, we shall endeavor to obstruct the enemy's evil plans. Rock Lee declared. At least someone's still gung-ho, let's get a move on, said Naruto before taking the lead by leaping off the rooftop as the rest followed after him. Upon linking the T-glasses to the T-phone sensor, Naruto and the others managed to pick up a bomb signal and quickly leapt across the rooftops towards it. Sure enough, they located several Foot ninjas arming the bombs while being guarded by others. Darn it, they arming the bombs. Let's take them out quickly, then I'll seal them away, said Naruto urgently. Rock Lee nodded in affirmation, we're on it. They landed on the roof and charged towards the Foot ninjas that saw them approaching and took to the offensive as well. Naruto took out a kunai with a twirl from its thigh holster and held it in a reverse grip, which he used to deflect the incoming slashes from the enemy's tanto, then countering with punches and kicks before channeling wind chakra through the kunai to increase its sharpness and slice right through their weapons, rendering them useless before knocking them down with his taijutsu. Speaking of which, Rock Lee was also using his speed and taijutsu to outpace his opponents and putting them down before they can counter or even put up any form of defense. Hinata was also disabling her opponents with her gentle fist as they find themselves unable to move or function properly after she strikes a certain part of their bodies. Alopex proved to be quite impressive as she displays her skills in combat, switching between running on all fours and two legs, which made her extremely difficult to keep a lock on, then would fight with various styles of martial arts, at times stealing their weapons and using it against them. Eventually, all of the foot ninjas have been defeated as the group converged towards them bombs, with Naruto bringing out a scroll and unrolling it to reveal a complex seal on it. "Are you sure this will work?" asked Alopex, feeling a bit worried since none of them knows how to disarm a bomb. Naruto nodded in affirmation. "Yes, it will. Once something is sealed, it's like time pauses for it. I once sealed a tomato inside a scroll and left it for a week, then I unsealed it and found to be the same. So, this will definitely work. Now quickly place the bomb on this spot here and I'll seal it." "Right." Rock Lee carefully picked up and placed it on the marked area, then Naruto channeled his chakra onto the seal and the bomb disappeared in a puff of smoke, signifying a successful sealing. "Great, I'll bring the rest over." After sealing the rest of the bombs away, the group got a call from April via their tea glasses. "Hey guys, I've intercepted a call from the foot. It sounds like they're attempting to make away with some valuable goods. I'm sending you the coordinates." April informed them before sending the coordinates to their tea glasses. "Alright, we're on our way," said Naruto. They were back on the move with Hinata having her Byakugan active. Then she spotted something and called out to the rest of the team. "I see them, over there." Hinata pointed over to the top of a skyscraper where they saw yet another group of foot ninjas, with one of them carrying a briefcase which must contain the aforementioned goods which need to be retrieved. However, the foot ninjas chose to run away instead of fight them. "Don't let them get away," said Naruto before they gave chase after the ninjas across the rooftops before eventually catching up to them and engaged in combat. Naruto caught sight of the foot ninja with the briefcase trying to make an escape and prepared to intercept. Naruto Cannon. He creates a shadow clone that grabs and flings him straight at the ninja, tackling him to the ground, then knocking him out with a strong punch to the face and retrieving the briefcase. "April, we've got the goods back. But how do we return it?" Naruto inquired. "I'll have you place it somewhere, then I'll give the police an anonymous tip about where to find it later," April responded. Naruto sealed the briefcase in a different scroll to do as suggested at a later time. "Alright then, where to next?" "I'm still trying to decrypt the intel being passed through their system. Until then, you should continue to get those bombs." "Got it, be sure to keep us posted." "Will do." The team resumed their search for the bombs placed throughout the city, at times having to split up into pairs whilst ensuring that one of them is able to seal the bombs into the scrolls. They would also intercept other operations of the foot ninjas, like trying to destroy monuments and steal valuable items. They had met up and sealed the bombs into the scrolls when April contacted them. "I've discovered that the Foot Clan is making use of a helicopter to supply the bombs throughout the city. You'll need to locate the helicopter and disable it," April informed them. "Gotcha, we'll see what we can do," said Naruto before turning to Hinata. "Think your Byakugan can help us locate the helicopter?" "I'll give it a try." Veins bulged around Hinata's eyes to signify the use of her clan's dojutsu as she uses the 360 telescopic feature to scout the area at a wide range. "What kind of technique is that?" asked Alopex curiously. "All we can tell you is that it's a bloodline belonging to her familial clan and nothing more than that for confidentiality's sake," said Naruto, making the mutant Snow Fox nod in understanding, for ninjas put their lives on the line to gather and/or protect the information attained. Hinata then spoke up. "I found the helicopter. It's heading west towards a rooftop of a building where I'm seeing more of the foot ninjas." "Right then, let's move quickly and get there before it flies away," said Naruto. They rushed towards where the helicopter is situated and soon arrived where it was, seeing the ninjas offloading the bombs from the aircraft before noticing their arrival. Not wasting a second, Naruto and Ko swung into action and engaged the enemy while ensuring that they don't arm any of the bombs in their possession. Naruto looked to see that the helicopter was starting to take off and escape. "Oh no, you don't, you're not going anywhere." He dashed towards the flying aircraft and activated the seals on his shin guards to generate a solid platform of chakra to propel himself from to reach it, as he took out a seal tag and slapped it against its hull before forming a hand sign while falling back to the rooftop. "Seal activate." Suddenly the systems on the helicopter began blaring numerous alarms about a massive amount of weight which it can't bear, forcing the pilot to land back on the rooftop. Naruto grinned as the gravity seal which he had placed on the helicopter was proving to be effective. Then he resumed helping the others take down the rest of the foot ninjas. "Alright, we've grounded their chopper and got the rest of the bombs. Now we can drop them all at the sea and get rid of them," said Naruto after sealing the rest of the bombs into the scroll. "But how can we do that? The radius of the explosion would be too large for us to escape from once we detonate the bombs," Alopex inquired with concern, putting away the pair of kama alongside a kuzarigama which she had swiped from one of the ninjas to use as weapons. Rock Lee responded with his signature, good guy, pose, not to worry, Alopex-san. My fellow comrade here as a way to do this without inflicting harm on any of us. Naruto nodded in affirmation, bushy brows is right, let's head over to the docks and I'll show you. The group set out for the docks, unaware that someone has been observing them from afar and hadn't been detected this whole time. Upon arriving at the docks, Naruto created a shadow clone and handed the scrolls containing the bombs over to him. Okay man, you know what to do, said Naruto. The clone responded with a two-finger salute, leave it to me, boss. It jumped off the dock to stand on top of the water's surface which surprised Alopex before channeling chakra to his feet and taking off at high speed towards the sea to get as far away from the city as it can before detonating the bombs. Are you all capable of similar feats? Asked Alopex, having never seen any other ninjas like them before when she was with the Foot Clan. It's understandable that you would be surprised by this. The truth is that we come from another world, which is why this is uncommon to you, said Hinata. But then why are you here? Naruto spoke up, that's because I'm traveling to other worlds to learn what it means to be a Kamen rider. This is our very first world. I see. Boom. Suddenly their conversation was interrupted by the sound of a massive explosion, making them turn to see the aforementioned explosion, which is very far away and also proved how potentially dangerous it could have been had they detonated in the city. Mission accomplished, now to report it to April-san and the turtles, said Rock Lee, feeling happy that they were able to complete their objective. Naruto tapped on the tea glasses to do just that. April-san, we were able to get rid of the bombs and also disable the helicopter which was acting as the supplier. That's great news. I was also able to discover that the bomb threats are part of Karai's plan and she's personally come to see it through. The turtles are already on the way to confront her, said April. Karai, Alopex growled in anger, recalling just how the Kunoichi is just as ambitious as the Shredder and would do anything to attain the acknowledgement of her MSTR as well as the one who stopped her from killing the Shredder. Got it, we're heading there now, said Naruto, let's go team. The group proceeded to make their way across the rooftops with the coordinates given to them by April, which shows that Karai is located at an unfinished skyscraper, which is likely where Leo and the others are heading to as well. Alopex's ears twitched upon hearing the sound of large wings beating. Confused at first, the vixen's eyes quickly widened in realization and turned to Naruto, who was already jumping across the air towards the next roof. Naruto, watch out. Huh? Naruto hardly got any time to react when something literally snatched him in midair and he found himself being carried high into the air, much to the horror of the others. What the? Naruto-kun. Hinata called out in worry for the blonde ninja. We need to help him, said Lee urgently. They were about to move when something landed on the rooftop and stood in their way, revealing to be a mutant hammerhead shark wearing a necklace made of shark teeth, wearing a pair of large black swimming trunks with the Foot Clan symbol on. Another thing to note would be the large shark-like axe he is wielding. You won't be going anywhere, traitor. Neither you nor your new friends, said the mutant hammerhead shark darkly. Bludgeon, Alopex muttered lowly. Let me guess, he's a member of the Shredder's elite mutants? Asked Rock Lee, taking his strong fist stance. And the stronger ones compared to Rocksteady and Bebop, who Karai had created first, the one who took his Koya, the Shredder's pet falcon, before he mutated her as well, Alopex explained. Hinata was clearly displeased as she took on the gentle fist stance. We need to hurry and help Naruto. Bludgeon pointed his shark axe at the trio. You won't be going anywhere but unmarked graves for opposing the MSTR. Up in the air, Naruto was struggling to free himself from the enemy who grabbed him. He looked up to see that it is a mutated peregrine falcon who had him in her razor-sharp talons, while noting that they were climbing higher into the air. You better put me down if you know what's good for you, said Naruto angrily. The mutant falcon looked down at him with a sneer. Actually, I have a better idea. She released her grip, leaving him to plummet to the ground. Oh no, not again. Naruto cried out as he fell, losing count on how many times he found himself falling from great heights. Come on, Naruto. Think of something. His mind raced for a solution when his eyes set upon the seals on his shin guards. Then a thought came into mind. I haven't done this before, but I don't have much options right now. Naruto twisted his body in midair as he activated the seals on his shin guards to create a platform out of chakra for him to step on, then jump before creating another chakra platform, this consecutive process giving him a controlled form of descent. Screech. The blonde ninja glanced over his shoulder to see the mutant falcon coming after him and frowned a bit. A small slight on my part to think that it would be that easy to kill you. Allow me to rectify that mistake. She bared her talons and lashed out with a kick. Naruto quickly generated a vertical chakra platform and kicked off it to dart out of the way while weaving through a set of hand signs. Wind style, great breakthrough. He took in a deep breath with his stomach swelling a bit, then unleashes an immensely powerful gust of wind from his mouth which blew the mutant away from him. Seeing that he was close to the tall skyscrapers and caught sight of his teammates fighting a mutant hammerhead shark wielding an axe, Naruto created a shadow clone who grabbed hold of him and spun several times to build up momentum before throwing him towards them and dispelling afterwards. Naruto safely landed on the rooftop with a side roll before hopping to his feet, grabbing the attention of the others. "Naruto-kun, you're okay," said a relieved Hinata. "Yeah, but I definitely wasn't expecting to be hunted by a giant bird of all things," Naruto responded. "Naruto, where are you guys?" "The turtles are currently fighting Karai," April inquired urgently. "We're being attacked by Bludgeon and Koya," Alopex reported. "Wait, if you're fighting those two then that could mean," Lee interjected, "we can speak of this at a later time, the enemy is attacking. Please hurry so you can help Leo and the others, I fear to think who might be with Karai." "We'll try to make this quick," said Naruto as he faced Bludgeon and Koya alongside his team. "Prepare to meet your end, traitor," said Koya, glaring angrily at Alopex. Alopex snarled in response, "Better a traitor than the Shredder's attack dog. You shall pay for that." Insult. Bludgeon rushed towards Alopex and swung his axe with the intent to bisect the mutant snow fox into two. Alopex somersaulted over Bludgeon only to realize that she had been baited into doing so as Koya swooped towards her while she's unable to dodge in midair. Leaf Great Flash. Rock Lee suddenly appeared between them and blasts Koya away with a swift aerial lateral kick to the head. "Do not forget that she is not your only opponent." "Why you?" Bludgeon was about to retaliate with another swing of his axe. "Don't forget about me." Naruto performed a chakra dash to rapidly close the gap and began attacking with a combo of punches, then created a shadow clone which joined with several high kicks to the head. Then a second clone appeared with a sliding kick to knock the mutant high into the air. Naruto Uzumaki combo attack. Naruto along with the clones jump in the air while grabbing each other's legs then their opponent's tail to form a chain WHP as he spun them around several times in midair to build up momentum before throwing Bludgeon back down to the roof and forming a crater upon impact. Bludgeon. Koya swooped towards Naruto with him as her target and talons bared with intent to cut him to pieces. Naruto-kun. Hinata appeared in between them and took a stance which made Naruto's widen in recognition. 8 trigrams palm rotation. She spun rapidly like a top while releasing chakra from her body to encase them both in a spinning dome of chakra which defended them against Koya, who got knocked down to the ground when she collided with it. "Hinata-chan, I didn't know you could use the rotation now," said Naruto, who was surprised since Hinata had never used it before and created her own version which is far deadlier. "Well, Niji and father had been training me so I was able to learn it," said Hinata shyly. "That's amazing. Thank you." Koya and Bludgeon painfully got back to their feet and looked at the unknown ninjas standing with Alopex in contemplation. Just who on earth are these ninjas and where did they come from? Also, how come they've allied themselves with the MSTR's enemies instead of him instead? They then saw Naruto weaving through another set of hand signs and made their decision. "We need to retreat and report this matter to the MSTR, said Koya. Agreed, Bludgeon didn't object to the suggestion. Wind style, air bullets. Naruto takes in a deep breath whilst concentrating chakra into his lungs before opening his mouth to spew bullets of air rapidly. Koya and Bludgeon darted out of the way, but instead of launching a counterattack, the former took to the skies and fly away while the latter was jumping across rooftops before diving into the river, then swam away from the group. How unyouthful of them to run away when we haven't concluded the battle. Rock Lee complained, feeling offended that they chose to flee. Apparently, they chose to cut their losses and retreat. But the most worrisome is that they did so in order to report to the Shredder about you all, said Alopex with concern. It would seem that way, said Naruto thoughtfully. He was snapped out of his thoughts when the T-glasses beeped to notify a transmission. Naruto here. Naruto, are you guys okay? April told us you were fighting Koya and Bludgeon while we face Karai, asked Leo with concern. We're doing fine, those two beat an early retreat in the fight and Alopex suspects that they're likely going to report to the Shredder about us. What about you guys? Naruto responded before inquiring from him. We were able to defeat Karai, but she left behind a thinly veiled threat of the cities and our destruction before flying away in a jetpack, Donnie reported. Again with another threat, I fear that whatever plan that the Shredder has in mind might be greater than we thought, said Alopex. Rock Lee frowned with a clenched fist. We must find answers if we want to counter the plans of such fearsome enemies. And don't forget jetpacks, we'll definitely need those. Mikey spoke up excitedly through the comms. Shut up, Mikey, said Raph in exasperation. I'm just saying. Sai will see about returning the stolen goods to the police before heading back to the studio, said Naruto, feeling the tension leave his body and wanting to get some rest after today. I'll help you with that, said April. Thanks. After returning the stolen goods and going back to the studio, The team gave their report to Yamato, who contemplated on it thoughtfully and said that they would have a discussion on it later after dinner. Rock Lee went to do what he calls a post-battle review that Guy-sensei taught his team about so they can see what needs to be improved. Naruto went to his room so he could take a nap before dinner. Hinata went to the kitchen since she offered to cook dinner for everyone, which they appreciated. She was taking out the ingredients from the fridge when she heard someone call out to her from behind. She turned around to see Alopex standing in the doorway, looking rather awkward. "Would you like some help?" Hinata smiled kindly. "Of course, I don't mind." Hearing that seemed to have made Alopex less awkward and enter the kitchen, then Hinata began to give her instructions on what to do. Things were silent save for the clattering of kitchenware until Alopex decided to speak up. Hinata, do you know Naruto very well?" asked Alopex. Hinata was a bit confused by the question but chose to answer it nonetheless. "Well, I've been classmates since the academy and even met before then. So, I guess I can say that know quite a bit about him. I'm rather curious to know what kind of person he is, given how different he is compared to anyone I've known," said Alopex thoughtfully. "Giggle, it doesn't surprise me that you would be surprised by how Naruto acts, but," a sad expression appeared on Hinata's as she recalls the past. "Naruto's beginnings weren't happy ones." "What do you mean?" Hinata proceeded to tell Alopex of Naruto is an orphan with no one to look after or care for him. It was even worse as nearly everyone in the village ostracized him and he was viewed as a pariah. With no one to believe in him, Naruto chose to believe in himself and set a goal to become the leader of the village and have everyone acknowledge him for who he truly is and not what he reminds them of. But it was easier said than done as he hardly possesses any sort of talent and many attempts ending up in failure than success. In spite of all that, he refused to give up and kept moving forward. Bit by bit, he began to meet people that acknowledge him and she's one of them. I remember that day when he confided in me about his insecurities. Naruto spoke of how he always acted confident to conceal the fact that he feels frustrated and views himself to be a failure. I told him how that is not true. Every time he makes a mistake, he doesn't let it keep him down for very long, then gets back up and tries again no matter how many times it took until he finally got it right. Seeing him that way gives me the confidence that I lacked. That's why I called him a proud failure. Giggle, and he accepted the title with that bright smile of his. I see what you mean. Alopex recalls how Naruto would smile the way she said and the confidence he emits in everything he does, accepting his mistakes and resolving to do better. He's one of kind, isn't he? Hinata nodded in agreement. Yes, Naruto-kun is a very special person, ever ready to accept the best and worst in a person then help them change for the better. I've seen it many times on the missions I took part with him. Accept the best and worst in a person, huh? Alopex thought to herself, I wonder how my life would have been had I met someone like him in this world instead of the Shredder? I'm sure it would have been happier times. A few days later, Naruto was with the turtles on night patrol while Yamato led the rest on another part of the city after being given the info from April that there was a sudden crime spike over there and are needed to head there and quell it. They were running through an alleyway when Donnie got a call from April on his T-phone, which he answered. I've received something from Casey. He says that the docks are covered with containers filled with some kind of strange tech. He tried to take a closer look but was driven off by some nasty-looking guards, April reported. That definitely has the Krong written all over it, said Naruto, suspecting that to be the case. My best guess is that they would try transporting the tech through the sewers since they wouldn't want to risk them being seen out in the open. No doubt ordnance that the Foot and Krong are intending to use in their plan for a full-scale war against the city, said Leo thoughtfully, then he stopped the group before a manhole cover leading into the sewers. Raph strode past them towards the manhole cover with a sigh in hand. Well, that's fine by me. If those guys want a war, then we'll give 'em a war. He stabbed the sigh into the manhole cover and yanked it out, flinging over their heads and crashing to the ground with a metallic bang. This is gonna be my first time in the sewers, I just know I'm gonna hate the smell, said Naruto, not really looking forward to it. Should have brought an air refreshener with ya, said Mikey jokingly. Come on, guys. Let's go. Leo jumped down through the sewer as well as the others, with Naruto being the last to follow in after them. Arriving in the sewer lines, the group were quick to notice that it's been submerged in water, with the flow being very strong, so they would need to be careful around it. April called them on their tea glasses. They're using the sewers to smuggle goods. If I was a betting person, I'd put my money on Armagon being in charge. I kinda hope that it's him and not the Rat King, said Mikey nervously. Is he that bad? Asked Naruto with concern. We can handle a mutant shark with lots of teeth and a massive superiority complex, but the Rat King is a whole different complicated issue, so I'm with Mikey on this one, said Donnie. Let's get a move on and intercept Armagon before they succeed in transporting the tech, said Leo, wanting to get everyone to focus on the mission. Yeah, no point standing around and twiddling our thumbs. Raph was in agreement. Before that, I'd like to give you guys something. Naruto reached into his ninja pouch and took out several blue armbands with seals drawn on them. Take these. What are they? Asked Leo, looking at the armband curiously. If you guys recall the booster seal which I used in the subway, these are prototypes based on it. Instead of chakra, I re-engineered it to draw upon your chi energy for the physical enhancement, Naruto explained. Sweet, can't wait to bench press a car after this, said Mikey excitedly while putting on the armband. I'd rather you don't, Donnie retorted. This oughta make dealing with those rockheads easier, said Raph with a smirk, eager to start smashing already. But be careful, they're still in the prototype stage so they won't last for very long, Naruto cautioned the turtles. Leo nodded in understanding, then we'll just have to make it last for as long as we can. With their new prototype booster seals equipped, the team proceeded to make their way through the sewer lines while realizing that they could use the strong water flow to their advantage by surfing atop it, but they had to be mindful of the direction which it was going. Along the way, the group ran into a squad of rock soldiers and Krongs piloting small flying saucers. Seeing this as the perfect opportunity to test the effects of the prototype booster seals that Naruto gave to them while the blonde ninja hung back to observe how well the prototypes. The results were, well, better than they'd expected. Raph's sigh resulted in him piercing a hole right through a rock soldier's torso, leaving behind a gaping hole to see through. Mikey and Donnie quite literally knocked the blocks off their targets with their nunchucks and bow staff respectively, and Leo practically sliced and diced his into rocky chunks. Naruto then took out the Krongs by throwing chakra-enhanced shuriken to destroy their flying saucers, forcing them to retreat via teleportation. Mikey looked down at his nunchucks with eyes sparkling with awe. Dudes, it's like we are in a real-life RPG with actual buffs. This makes for quite an experience, Donnie admitted, considering that he often had to land many consecutive hits on his enemies while having to watch out for the durability of his bow staff to avoid breakage. Raph simply shrugged his shoulders. All I know is that it makes us waste less time to put these guys in the ground. Naruto approached to check on them. So, how is it? Any issues with the seals? Leo was the one to answer while putting his katanas away in the sheaths. They're working all right. I noticed that the seal draws out more chi energy whenever I intend to use stronger attacks. Besides that, I don't have any issues with it. Okay, but be sure to let know of any problems so I can work the kinks out of it, said Naruto. With that said, the team ventured further through the sewer lines and had to lift open large sewer lids in order to drop down to the lower levels. Along the way, they were quick to notice that the forces of the Krong had installed various security measures to keep out intruders, with one of them being laser grids which Donnie guided them to easily disable before moving on. Right now, they're standing around a puddle of purple glowing ooze. Okay, I've played enough video games, watched movies and went on adventures to know not to touch glowy stuff like this, said Mikey. Good, would have bonked you in the head if you tried to touch that thing, Raph retorted. What are we looking at, Donnie? Asked Leo. Donnie was using his T-phone to scan and frowned at the info he looking at, some sort of chemical of unknown properties but definitely alien. Just the readings I'm looking at here tells me that it's very hazardous to any living beings. In other words, do not make contact with it at any costs, Naruto pointed out. Pretty much yes. This only proves that the danger that they pose is greater than we thought, said Leo with a frown. We need to hurry and find Armagon. With that said, the group resumed their venture and along the way stopped the enemy from destroying more of the pipes, which was the reason why the sewers were submerging. They need to stop them quickly or else the entire city would be flooded. The rock soldiers tried to use bombs, which at this point Naruto and the turtles are already tired of dealing with those things. Guys, I'm picking up a huge reading from the center of the bottom floor, and it's definitely not Slash. April reported to the team. Sounds like we found our guy, let's head down there and say hello, said Raph. Minutes later, they were standing at the center of a large platform at the bottom level of the sewer system, which is bordered by the purple ooze flowing around, which they definitely don't want to be touching. Stay sharp, he could be anywhere, Leo cautioned the others while searching for the enemy. Great, now you got me thinking of that theme from Jaws, Mikey complained. Naruto barely caught sight of something swiftly moving through the purple waters, which seems to be a dorsal fin but appears to be metallic and razor-sharp, before there were splashes all around which alerted everyone as something jumped out and landed on the platform before them. It was an anthropomorphic mutated great white shark which seems to be cybernetically enhanced based on the golden HRNSS and metal pipes seen all over its body. Let's not forget about the uncountable numbers of sharp teeth jutting out from its large mouth. I'm guessing that's Armagon? This guy reminds me of someone back home, Naruto commented. I wonder how this guy reminds you of him. Can I take a shot and guess its cause of the teeth? Mikey inquired curiously. That among others. Armagon glared at the group. All of this will be mine. Pay tribute to your future king. He bared his teeth in a threatening manner. Is there no need to what people would flush down their toilets these days? Raph complained. Now, Raph. You heard the guy, he's royalty, show some respect. Leo sarcastically scolded his brother. Hey fish breath, we already have a dude calling himself king down here, Mikey pointed out to Armagon. Why is everyone so desperate to be king of the sewers, anyway? Asked Donnie confusedly. I get the feeling that question doesn't require an answer for the sake of our sanity, said Naruto. Armagon lunged at the group with his mouth wide open to bite down on at least one of them. The turtles leapt out of the way with Naruto leaping high into the air whilst creating several shadow clones alongside him. Clone spinning axe kick, he and the clones begin to somersault then came spinning down, slamming their heels onto the target's shoulders and head before flipping backwards and landing on all fours, shadow clone body slam. They all lunged forward and slammed into Armagon with flying headbutts before dispelling themselves save for the original. You dare attack your future king? Armagon glared at Naruto after being attacked by him. Naruto shrugged nonchalantly, sorry about that, I wasn't aware of your royal lineage since I didn't see a crown on your head. And another thing. What? Should you really be focusing only on me? Wham! Armagon found himself having just been blindsided by two flying kicks on the left side of his head, courtesy of Leo and Raph, which made the mutant shark stumble sideways in a slightly dazed state. Mikey and Donnie quickly closed in from the right side and wasted no time pummeling him with their weapons before backing away for a short breather. How can this be? You weren't this strong before, said Armagon, feeling confused and for the right reasons as his previous fights with the turtles weren't as difficult as this one. Mikey grinned mischievously, sorry dude, no spoilers. You shall pay for this sacrilege. Armagon began attacking fiercely with his jaws and blades on his tail, which Naruto and the turtles are making it a point to steer clear of both if they don't want to lose a piece of themselves to him. In an attempt to limit the enemy's mobility, Armagon began spitting large globs of the purple ooze onto most parts of the platform. Ew, that's so gross. How can you have that stuff in your stomach? Asked Mikey in disbelief. Besides that, he's making it hard for us to keep standing on this platform. Donnie pointed out. Let's see if I can clean up this mess. Naruto takes out a scroll which he quickly unfurled with one hand and formed a hand sign with the other, void seal activate. The seals on the scroll started glowing before proceeding to vacuum the purple ooze on the platform into it until they were all in, and he re-rolled the scroll with a hand sign. What madness is this? Armagon demanded upon seeing what just happened. Donnie, need a swing by. Wanna give this guy a reason to go to the dentist. Raph called out as he ran over. I'm on it. Donnie stretched out his bow staff for Raph grab onto the other end before the former began spinning around with him to build up momentum before swinging out to launch Raph, who slammed into Armagon's face back first with his shell and actually knocked off some of his teeth from the impact. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto summoned 4 clones, then he went on his hands and legs with his right leg stretched out and glowing, and the clones dashed out in different directions. The first clone dashed forward and punched Armagon in the face, causing him to stumble. The second clone came from behind with a slide kick to knock him off his feet. The third clone dashed in from the left and used a rising kick to launch him into the air, while the original leapt into the air with his right leg glowing more brightly. The final clone appeared under Armagon while performing a handstand and dealt a double kick to send him higher. Uzumaki Barrage EX. Naruto slammed a powerful heel drop kick and they both descended towards the platform, resulting in a loud crash. Whoa, now that's what I call a super move. Mikey commented. For once, I agree with you, said Raph. Armagon struggled to rise to his feet with his entire body being all battered and bruised, all of which he owes it to the turtles and their new friend. Well, talk about a stupid fish out of water, Raph taunted, enjoying this scenario a lot. Armagon growled back at them, have your fun, little fools, but know this, Armagon have been promised dominion over the oceans of this world. Soon, you will all be history and I will be king. He immediately leapt into the purple murky water and hastily swam away through one of the sewer lines before the group could react and stop him from making his escape. These guys really know how to run away when the odds are against them, said Naruto with a small frown. How can he even swim in that thing? So gross, Mikey commented, looking uncomfortable at the thought even touching the purple ooze. Dominion over the oceans? This just keeps getting better and better, Leo commented whilst putting away his katanas. Seems like they're recruiting others into the mix with promises which I'm not so sure they're gonna keep, said Naruto with a small frown. Raph frowned as well, suspecting that Shredder must have used Armagon's ego to his advantage. Sounds about right. And I believe we can find our answers from this piece of tech. Everyone turned to see Donnie holding up the aforementioned piece and showing it to them. The info we got from Casey was correct after all, the tech isn't man-made but alien. I'm going to send a picture to April so we can see what she makes of it. Naruto watched as Donnie brings out his T-phone, but what he does next confuses the blonde ninja. Is Donnie seriously taking a selfie with the alien tech? He asks the others. Yup, but in this case, we call that the nerd selfie, said Raph in amusement while Mikey is barely containing his snickers. Oh, Naruto honestly didn't know what more to say while watching Donnie take the selfie. It is a dark and stormy night as strong winds and rainwater soaks the massive concrete jungle which is Manhattan with hardly anyone to be seen, which would have been the case if not for several black human-shaped silhouettes leaping across the tall skyscrapers with great speed and agility before skidding to a stop on top of a rooftop in order to scout their surroundings, revealing to be none other than the turtles alongside Naruto, who tagged along with them as usual. Donnie was looking around when he spotted something flying through the sky at high speed, like a shooting star, but this one is oddly purple in color. Then he pointed it out to the others and gaining their attention. Over there, there's another one, said Donnie. Are you sure that it's not another asteroid? Asked Raph skeptically. April texted to us that there's been UFO sightings in this area recently, not to mention the multiple reports of erratic behavior by the locals at the same time. Naruto hummed thoughtfully, so you suspect that these two things might connected? Now that I think about it, kinda sounds like the locals are under the influence of a genjutsu. Raph quirked an eyebrow in response. I know you're new around here, but come on, Donnie. Do I need to remind you about some of the jokers we've met in this neighborhood? Erratic behavior is pretty much a prerequisite to live here. Maybe so, but the rate of such behavior is much higher than usual, Donnie argued. Humph, like there's a usual for these guys? Leo then spoke up. Calm down, you guys. Let's take a good look around and see whether April's info checks out. The others are already on the other side of the city doing the same thing. Not to mention that we need to gain every bit of information we can about this collaboration between the Foot and Krong. We can't afford running blindly into this, Donnie added. Raph rolled his eyes. Alright, there's a reason why I leave the brainy stuff to you guys. Just point me at who I need to hit. You're not the only one, said Naruto, knowing that he isn't that smart either but knows how to adapt quickly. Alright then, let's move. Leo took the lead as he leaps of the rooftop to the next one, with the others soon following after him. As they were leaping across the rooftops, the group had to be mindful of the strong winds which could possibly blow them off, but they could use it to their advantage when using their ninja gliders for quick ascents or longer range, while Naruto skillfully utilizes ninja training and seals to get around as well. Then they received a transmission from April. Guys, I'm seeing tons of UFOs all around you and something else. Wingnut April reported to the team, receiving groans from the turtle sans Naruto, who obviously doesn't know the person in question. Care to tell me more about this guy? Asked Naruto confusedly. Thankfully not much for the sake of our sanity. Basically Wingnut's an alien from outer space and wishes to get back to his planet. Needless to say, we definitely don't get along because of certain stuff in the past, Leo explained. And he doesn't get along with the Krong either, which makes me wonder exactly how he fits in all this, said Donnie. We can ask after a couple of hits, said Raph impatiently. Let's try not to get probed while we're looking for him, Mikey chimed in, receiving deadpan expressions from the others. Well, you wouldn't need to look too far, I'm picking up a swarm of bad guys close by. Sending you the coordinates, said April. Following the directions given to them by their gal in the chair, as Mikey would put it, the group made their way to an especially large rooftop which has a massive slanted solar panel, coming across a large group of rock soldiers being led by smaller aliens whom Naruto could best describe as living pink brains with faces and tentacles, piloting mini flying saucers. I still feel kinda creeped out at the sight of these Utrams, said Naruto with revulsion. Yup, and believe me, the first time I saw them, their looks made me think of giant chewed-up pieces of bubblegum with creepy faces. Couldn't look at bubblegum the same way for a while after that, Mikey commented. Leo spoke up, wanting everyone to focus. Let's get in there and put a stop to whatever it is they're planning. With that, they jumped in to engage the enemy, who immediately turned to attack them as the rock soldiers charge at them with their weapons and fists raised to strike while the Utrams hover above and started firing laser shots at the heroes. The turtles took on the rock soldiers, being able to inflict higher amounts of damage thanks to the booster seals that Naruto had given to them and been improving after every mission. The aliens themselves are stumped as to how this is possible and that science can't seem to explain it. On the other hand, Naruto decided to handle the Utrams in their flying saucers, having taken out his chakra blade and channeled chakra into it to form a large blue energy blade construct. The ninja constantly somersaulted and dashed, all the while deflected some of the incoming projectiles as he drew closer before launching a counterattack. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto brings out a handful of shuriken and flings them, then they quickly multiply into 1,000 copies of the originals, inflicting a lot of damage that many of the Utrams were forced to eject themselves from the flying saucers before they detonated. Hearing heavy footsteps from behind, Naruto round to find an especially large rock soldier charging with a fist reared back for a punch. Charging right back at the enemy in response, Naruto waited until the very last moment for the rock soldier to throw the punch and quickly ducked below the incoming strike, sliding in between the legs to get behind it. The blonde ninja lunges towards the alien's unprotected back with a jutsu-ready, faithful wind blade. He channels wind energy into the chakra blade to form a giant 10-foot condensed blade of wind formed along it. He raises the weapon above his head before bringing it down, cleaving the rock soldier cleanly in half like a knife through butter. Soon enough, the rock soldiers were reduced to rubble and the Utrams had fled, leaving their destroyed flying saucers behind. Naruto went up to the turtles to talk to them. "I see you guys are done much sooner than before," said Naruto. "Thanks to your booster seals, I noticed that our strikes consumed lesser amounts of our chi compared to before. Must be due to your improvements on them," said Donnie thoughtfully. "Yeah, I'm working on having the seal consume less of your energy while still giving you the needed increase in power, allowing you guys to fight for longer. Hopefully, I can fully complete it in time." Raph simply shrugged his shoulders. "So long as it helps us deal with Shredder and his cronies, I'm fine with whatever tweaks you do. In the meantime, we'll need to continue searching for the UFOs," said Leo. "Funny you should say that," Leo April spoke up through their tea glasses. "I'm picking up 2 signals this time and one of them is trying to blow up a building with a bomb. Seems like they're trying to split us up, making it harder to handle whatever it is they have planned." Naruto spoke up. "I can go with Donnie to handle the bomb while you 3 go to where the other signal is." "The good old divide and conquer strategy," said Mikey. Raph scoffed. "Wish I could say the same when it comes to pizza, since someone keeps trying to hog more slices. Gee, I wonder who that guy is. I'd better keep an eye out for him." "Alright guys, let's get a move on. We'll meet up when we're done with both sides," Leo stated. With that said, the group split into 2 with Naruto and Donnie heading towards where the bomb has been planted while Leo, Mikey and Raph made their way to the source of the other signal. Upon arrival, Naruto and Donnie encountered a group of both foot ninjas and rock soldiers setting up a large bomb atop a tall skyscraper. Donnie realized their intention to blow up this particular building would lead to the destruction of the surrounding buildings, resulting in a chain of mass destruction. "Disabling that bomb just became my highest priority. I need for you to cover me while I work on disarming it," said Donnie urgently. "Say no more, I've got your back," Naruto responds in affirmation. The duo swung into action. Naruto took the lead as he creates several shadow clones to hold off the enemy and clear a path for Donnie to reach the bomb, who began rapidly typing away on the terminal to slow down the countdown timer and disarm the bomb. On the other hand, Naruto and his clones were taking on the foot ninjas and rock soldiers with both taijutsu and kenjutsu, taking them down one by one at a steady pace while also keeping them away from their teammate. "Let's see how you handle this, wind style, Gale Wolf." Naruto holds an open palm out for a spiraling sphere of wind to take form, then 4 wolves made out of the wind emerge from the sphere before charging towards the enemy, with some getting smashed to rubble while others practically got blasted off the roof and would take a while to climb back up. "Got it. The bomb's been disabled," said Donnie, feeling relieved that he was able to stop it from exploding. "Nicely done. Now for me to seal it away in a scroll, since we can't leave it here for those guys to come back and activate it again." Naruto takes out a storage scroll from his ninja pouch and quickly seals the bomb in it to dispose later on. Donnie taps on his tea glasses to contact Leo and the others. "Hey guys, Naruto and I were able to take care of the bomb problem. What about your side?" "We were able to take care of another supposed UFO on our end. April's already sending us to the next one," Leo responded. "Then we might as well do the same. I suspect that this isn't the only bomb out here that they're trying to detonate. Watch yourselves out there." "Will do." After ending the transmission, Donnie and Naruto got in contact with April, who helped guide them to various parts of the city to deal with the UFOs and also disarm whatever bombs they could find and seal away for later disposal. The 2 split groups kept this up until April contacted them about something. "Guys, I spotted another UFO hovering above the construction site where you fought Karai. It might be Wingnut since the signal is much stronger compared to the rest," said April. "We're on our way," said Leo. "Same here," Naruto added through the comms. 10 minutes later, they all met up at the top of the construction site and started looking around for their quarry. Suddenly, that purple shooting star is seen zigzagging through the stormy night sky at high speed before hovering overhead and shining a purple spotlight down at the group before dimming to reveal who it really is. Riding atop a much larger flying saucer is a large humanoid alien bat with pale blue skin, the small wings on his back having much larger mechanical wings attached to them. He wears a black mask on his face, donning burgundy spiky armor on his body along with a golden bat-themed belt around his waist. Another thing to take note is the 4 smaller drones flying around the flying saucer. Enough of your meddling, turtles. And the same goes for your new friend, said the alien bat angrily. I take it that's Wingnut? Asked Naruto, being on guard. Donnie nodded in affirmation, the very one and one of our many headaches. Tell me about it. I was actually hoping to face actual extraterrestrial intelligence, Raph commented, rolling his eyes. That doesn't mean we can let our guards. Past experience has constantly reminded us that it's usually the crazy ones that are the most dangerous, Leo advised the group. I couldn't agree more. Mikey noticed that Raph was looking at him rather pointedly, making him feel nervous. What are you looking me for? Enough prattling, time for you to meet your end. Wingnut taps at his console, remotely controlling the drones to begin firing at Naruto and the turtles, who quickly darted out of the way to avoid getting shot. Take that flying saucer down, Leo commanded as he starts throwing shuriken, with the rest following his lead. Some of the projectiles were able to land on their target, but the others missed due to Wingnut piloting his flying saucer to not be in one place for very long, but the team remained determined to bring him down to their level. Naruto kept his eyes on Wingnut as the bat continues to flying around in his machine, waiting for the right moment to make his move. When that moment came, he reached into his ninja pouch and threw a kunai which had something attached to its hoop. As it reaches Wingnut, then the attached item releases a bright flash of light, revealing to be a flashbang. Now's my chance. Naruto rushes forward and leaps into the air, then triggers the seals in his shin guards to perform the double flight technique to create a platform out of chakra for him to step on, then jump to propel himself higher and landing on the flying saucer, special DLVRY, courtesy of Naruto Uzumaki. He grabs one of Wingnut's wings with one hand, then proceeded to punch him repeatedly in the face with his other hand. Why you get off? Wingnut struggles to keep the aircraft stable, but the blonde ninja has no intention to make it easy for him as he continues to punch the alien bat. Thanks to the constant pummeling interference, Wingnut ended crashing to the ground with Naruto jumping off earlier to land safely. Look what you did, now I have to fix this. Don't think we're just gonna sit back and watch you do that. Raph and the other turtles rush over to attack, but were forced to take evasive action as Wingnut remotely commands the drones to fire at them while he tries to fix the flying saucer as quickly as he can. Let's see how you can handle this. He pushed a button to launch several missiles into the air before targeting them. Missiles incoming. Donnie alerted the others urgently. Hang on, I got this. Naruto takes out a scroll which he quickly unfurled with one hand and formed a hand sign with the other. Void seal activate. The seals on the scroll started glowing before proceeding to vacuum the missiles into it, then he re-rolled it with a hand sign. In spite of that, Wingnut manages to get his flying saucer working again and quickly rose to the air, smugly looking down at the turtles and their new friend. He taps on the console a few times as the lower part of the flying saucer began humming with purple energy gather before firing 3 large purple energy beams which began rotating around, forcing the team to take evasive action yet again. Time to return to sender. Naruto still had the scroll from earlier in hand as he held while forming a hand sign with both hands, then he unfurls the scroll for the seals on it to glow before releasing the very missiles it had caught, sending right back Wingnut, which damaged the flying saucer enough to disrupt the energy beam attacks. How do you like that? Wingnut gritted his teeth in anger. If it came to this, he enters a new command into the console, making the flying saucer release a bright flash of purple light. The team were confused by this when they suddenly heard rumbling from below, then their instincts screamed at them to get out of the way quickly, which they complied, and it was a good thing they did so as something, or rather someone, came bursting out from underneath where they stood. Naruto observes the new person, who turns out to be a giant mutant tortoise with razor-sharp claws and spikes protruding from various parts of its body, especially its shell, and let's not forget about the rows of really sharp teeth in its mouth. Another thing to note would be the black bandana that it's wearing around its eyes. Seeing these details, Naruto recalled something. He wouldn't be the Slash guy you told me about, would he? Asked Naruto, hoping to be wrong, given how the mutant tortoise is looking at them rather predatorily. Unfortunately, he's the very one. But the more important question we should be asking is what he's doing here, since this ain't the sewers, said Raph with a frown. It might have to do with what Wingnut did earlier, which also confirms a suspicion I have, said Donnie thoughtfully. The erratic behavior by the locals and right now Slash's heightened aggression, I've concluded that both have been caused by Wingnut utilizing some form of hypnosis. In other words, he's been applying something like genjutsu in a wide scale tonight, said Naruto, understanding what the smartest member of the turtles is trying to explain to them. Mikey was upset to hear this. The big guy's already got enough problems with controlling himself. I'm not going to let this go on. Then we'll need to destroy that machine, said Leo urgently. You can leave that to me, you keep the big guy busy while I work on reducing that thing to scrap metal, said Naruto, turning his focus on to Wingnut. Will do, let's go guys. Wingnut sneers down at Naruto, who approaches him. And what makes you think you can do anything to stop me? Because you don't know a thing about me, and that puts you at a disadvantage. Let me show you what I mean. Naruto quickly weaves through a set of hand signs, wind style, air bullets. He takes in a deep breath whilst concentrating chakra into his lungs before opening his mouth to spew bullets of air rapidly. Several of the air projectiles landed on their target, but then Wingnut was quick to steer out of the way. You'll have to do a lot better than that, said Wingnut smugly. Okay then, just know you're the one who asked for this. Naruto reaches into his ninja pouch and took out the Deca driver, which he straps to his waist, and took out his signature rider card, Henshin. He inserted the card into the Deca driver and closed it as it then announced. Kamen Ride, Decade. Multiple gray figures surrounded Naruto before converging into him as he transforms into Kamen Rider Decade. The blonde ninja rider dusts his hands before opening the ride booker and took out a rider card, which he then inserted into the Deca driver and closed it. Attack Ride, Blast. Naruto took off the ride booker from his belt as it transformed into its gun mode, then aimed it at his targets and pulled the trigger, with magenta-colored spectral copies appearing around it and firing rapidly alongside the main weapon. The speed and power of the shots inflicted critical damage that it was unable to function properly like before. Seizing this opportunity, Naruto ruas forward and leaps into the air while shifting the ride booker to sword mode as the blade is coated in pixelated magenta energy before he strikes the flying saucer with a diagonal slash, which leaves a wide gash on the machine, therefore rendering it completely non-functional as it crashes to the ground. My machine. Wingnut wails in shock at what just happened. Here's hoping you got insurance for the thing. Naruto nonchalantly rests the ride booker on his shoulder, completely unapologetic of what he just did. You're gonna pay for that. Wingnut flaps his wings to hover in the air as he calls upon the 4 drones to float around him and remotely controls them fire at Naruto, who quickly takes a card out from the ride booker to insert into the Deca driver, then closing it with the device calling out. Attack Ride, Barrier. A large circular shield of magenta pixelated energy appeared front of Naruto and blocked the incoming barrage of laser bullets with hardly any issues. Naruto takes aim with the ride booker in gun mode and starts firing at him the mutant alien bat, landing some shots on the enemy. Roar. Hearing a loud roar from behind, Naruto darted out of the way in time to avoid a claw swipe from behind by a still rampaging Slash as the turtles came up next to him. What gives? I thought he was free of the hypnosis, asked Naruto confusedly. That's what we thought too. Turns out he's too angry to be reasoned with at the moment, Leo explained. Well, since he ain't gonna listen to reason, we might as well make him take a quick nap, said Raph, rather eager to go with that idea. Poor Slash, I promised to get a bag of candy for him after this, said Mikey. Easier said than done since we still have Wingnut to deal with as well, Donnie pointed out to them. I believe I can provide the numbers to help deal with both sides. Naruto reaches into the ride booker in book mode to take out a rider card and slot it into the Deca driver before closing it as the device calls out. Attack Ride, Illusion. 2 purple silhouettes split off from the original before solidifying into physical copies as they stood next to Naruto. Donnie, Leo, and I will handle Wingnut while the rest deals with Slash, Naruto suggests to the team. I'm cool with that, said Raph with a shrug. Mikey nods in agreement. Me too, let's help Slash calm down. Alright, let's go, said one of the doppelgangers before they turned to face their assigned targets. Both Leo and Donnie engaged Wingnut in close combat while Naruto uses his ride booker in gun mode and constantly fire at the drones, disrupting them from attempting any form of attacks while also firing at the main target to purposely disorient him for the duo to land their attacks much easier. Leo attacked with several slashes with his dual katanas, then backed up for Donnie to rush past and perform a pole vault with his bow staff and land a kick to the chest. Angered by the onslaught, Wingnut retaliated with wild swipes via the class on his hands and feet. The turtles quickly darted away to evade the incoming attacks. The next thing that the mutant alien bat knew was that he felt a strong impact to the back which sent him crashing to the ground. He looked back to see Naruto landing on the ground with a slightly raised foot being lowered. Turns that he attacked from behind with a diving kick while he was distracted. On the other hand, Raph alongside Mikey and the other 2 doppelgangers were fending off the still rampaging Slash, inflicting as much damage as they can, which would subdue the giant mutant tortoise without harming him too much. But it's easier said than done considering that Slash's body is covered in spikes and is a walking tank that can take a lot of hits and still keep going. I'm all for fighting guys that know how to take a lot of hits, but Slash ain't one of them. Raph complained. Tell me about it, dude. I don't like doing this to the big guy either. Mikey responded. One of the doppelgangers landed several punches on Slash before jumping away to avoid a claw swipe from the mutant before responding to the others. Then we'll just have to knock him out with a hard enough hit. Think you can hold him off for a couple of seconds? Make it quick. Raph and the others move in to engage Slash, keeping him as occupied as they could. The doppelganger quickly moved back to build some distance from them, then he reaches into the ride booker to take card into the open decadriver and closed it with the device announcing. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.